welcome to another episode of Black Sheep Rising, episode 28.
What?
Yeah, we're getting up there, man. We're
28.
And people are finding out about it. And I met a couple of people at the old Social Sunday this evening who knew about it. So, I mean, someone is watching this silly-ass show. But, yeah, episode 28, your weekly dose of keen activism and any bizarre stories that we can scrape up.
Oh, it's bizarre.
Oh, yeah, we find what we find. But here in the studio this evening, it is me, Conan Salada, and joining me, it is
Daryl.
And Jay. I was waiting for him to say more. He usually does, so.
No, he usually does just the Daryl thing, and then... Okay. But yeah, Daryl and Jay, regular guests here on the regular panelists. Let me get that straight.
I'm more of a regular co-host.
Regular co-host and regullar panelist. Okay. How do you like that?
Right. It's like a legal term. So
no, we want to get that straight because I mean, if we have to take this to court, I mean, we want to, who has done what? What is at stake?
I am not involved
what
in the
kind
production
of
the show at all. Don't sue me.
Like juicy, delicious. Not stab your eyes out steak, but
he cannot pick up a knife to cut a steak.
The kind of steak that you can't even cut with a knife because you can't pick the knife up because it's either because of legal reasons or because it's too heavy.
How heavy is the knife? What kind of knife?
It's a shit ton. Do I have a knife drop?
What kind of knife?
I don't know where you're going with that one.
Well, I'm asking what kind of steak, and you're saying you can't pick up the knife.
I said it's just so powerful. The steak is just so powerful. The essence of it that.
So it's a big giant sirloin.
It's a big old piece of meat.
Sirloin is that tough?
No,
not tough. Not what I mean. Yeah, that's probably the wrong descriptor. Tough as in it's got meat on it, son. It's got some oomph.
You're not making any sense right now.
A nice ribeye, then. A nice juicy.
You know what?
Here's my theory about steaks. Bones get in the way when I eat, so I don't need a bone in my fucking steak.
Well, sometimes it makes it a little more juicier.
What about things that do have bones, like chickens and ribs? Ribs. There's a lot of bones.
I don't like ribs because bones get in my way.
We have boneless ribs. We have boneless chicken. I mean, if you don't like it, you don't have to have it. A steak.
That is so lame.
I want a deboned pig, deep fried.
You're probably
and served.
You're probably a huge fan of the old. Well, we all are. I know we are. But the McRibs, man, because
I can't eat the bread, but I still go eat the damn McRib.
It's delicious. Did you see the picture that went over the webs?
Raw and mechanically extruded.
And what that made people not want to eat McRibs ever again?
If you think that McRib is not fucking mechanically pressed,
give me a case of that shit.
Then you need to go the fuck back to kindergarten.
I mean, it's crazy. Look at this guy.
I mean, it's not really ribs.
Look at this guy peeking all over the place. Yeah.
Did you just say I committed affluence?
Yes, peeking.
I thought you said peeing. I'm not doing that.
No, but I mean, remember when the pictures of the processed meat,
the pink slime
came out? I mean, was anyone really surprised by all that? I mean, we've been eating hot dogs. I've been eating hot dogs my whole life.
I mean,
I know that they're
bologna. Right?
That's what I thought
bologna.
It was.
And what do you think? It's all it is really finely chopped meat. Basically.
It's the stuff it's the mechanically separated meat. It's what was close to the bone, and then they grind that shit up.
It's the leftovers.
Centrifugally separated.
And you know what? It doesn't bother me because I mean I do the same thing when I make like stock or something. I'm taking.
Actually, it's probably more healthier because you're getting the bone, and like humans don't eat enough like organ meats and bones to get that
exactly. Good point. So I mean, when I go make broth, I take all the leftovers, all the stuff that I will not eat, and I throw it in a stock pot, and I cook that bad boy up, and I've got some.
Shit, you put the ham bone in there. You know what I mean? If you
And then all of those leftovers. Once I've sucked all the nutrients out of it, then I go give it to the chickens, and they love me for it.
Hopefully not chicken. Not after a good chicken and dumplings. You're not giving the.
Why? Because of the mad chicken disease,
the cannibalism. Yeah, chicken cannibals. That's why that's how you wind up with the giant chicken that beats the shit out of Peter Griffin.
I am more fearful of my chickens eating
their
own eggs because I feed them eggshells. And supposedly, if they get a taste for it and they see, this is why when I take my eggshells out there, I've already pre-crunched them, so they're just in pieces. I don't take full half eggshells, so it looks like a full egg. So we'll see what happens. This is my experiment, and I'll get back to everyone and I'll tell them how it worked.
They were more stable. They don't like
mad chicken.
Yeah,
You're gonna wind up with mad chickens, man.
A disease that I haven't heard about yet, but
they're gonna peck your eyes out with their tiny little beaks.
I don't know. I'm not worried about it.
The duck is gonna peck your fucking eyes out with his beak.
I'm not worried about it.
Stop yelling at me!
Fucking breaking the peaks, dude. Ooh, that was nice. Oh, nice stuff. So, what's been going on this week, guys?
Not a lot. Although I think Jay's got an interesting story about some Robin Hood.
It did get cold this week. In fact, tonight is the coldest it's been. I think it's like, 20 right now or something?
Oh, no, I'm still wearing my flip-flops.
You're going to freeze your toes off.
I'll put on shoes once the white fluffy falls out of the sky.
If he just gets frostbite and all them toes, he can have them all amputated. He won't have to worry about nasty-ass toes.
No trimming no more? You'll have stories to tell?
Exactly.
I lost my toes in Nam.
You could do some weird porno on the
side. How do you know I don't already?
Oh,
I don't know what to think about that now. That's just taking it to a whole
You
nother...
can just call your sister, Conan. She can give you all the details.
What the fuck? This is taking it a whole nother level. It's just inappropriate.
Well, what level is it that we're going to?
I don't know. Maybe like the
27th level of I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
I mean, we just started this show off, full swing. I mean, are we? Let's just not.
Just a warning. I have a case of the farts apparently this evening. So
just like this guy brought him to my. Oh, both of you guys, man. Disgusting.
All right, Come on. Tell me about the Robin Hood.
Yeah, something happened this week with Jay on the streets of Keene.
So I caught our little nasty female parking enforcer stealing the little cards we leave on the car and a little flyer we leave if somebody gets a ticket, basically tell them to fight the ticket. I had noticing them going missing. I had been putting change or putting those flyers, and somebody had taken them off twice. And so I put him back on, and I figured I'd wait around the corner and see who the heck was doing it, if it was a person or the parking enforcer. And I saw Jane walk by on the other side, and she didn't touch him. I don't think she saw me. And then I saw Linda come around the corner, and she goes right to a car that didn't have a ticket, and I had just put a card there. It did have tickets before. The lady had come and got him off, but it didn't have a ticket then. So there was no excuse whatsoever for her to touch it. I saw her. She just kind of darted over to the left, put her hand out, took the card off, and stuck it in her pocket.
What
and
the
then
fuck?
I was standing there. I turned the camera on as fast as I could. I said, "I was come on here." He was like, "Linda, why are you stealing our Robin Hood cards? You know that's
inconceivable.
It's abridgment of freedom of speech." And I had been in here. I think it was her that was asked in court, don't you know, because it had happened before a few months ago.
Right.
Right, it had happened before the court case.
Right. And it was brought up in court, and it was like saying, this is abridgment of freedom of speech by a government official. And I was just like, just to get a reaction of her, you don't have immunity from that. You can be held liable separately from the government. You could actually be held financially liable personally.
Right.
And commit in the performance of your duties. You don't have that immunity. But I think it was pretty nasty. It was Linda that was doing that. I don't know if I mentioned her name already, but she is pretty nasty. I mean, she's the nastiest one. I think she doesn't talk to you, and then she tries to get rile people up to maybe. Initiate force against us.
Fuck you and fuck you.
I think she was the antagonist behind the whole Travis thing, like the whole Graham and.
Oh yeah, we covered that. Yeah. I truly believe that she had something to do with that incident.
It happened last week with me. I was quote unquote following her. I guess I don't actually follow the parking enforcers because I'm usually out there by myself when I'm doing it. I don't find that. I'm not going to be running after them, and I can be more efficient if I just do it a route constantly. like they should be doing if they want to keep away from us.
Right.
By the way, and I was by the courthouse and I put a green flyer saying how to find a ticket because somebody had got a ticket, and she points. There was a construction guy in the middle of the road, I guess, directing traffic, and he's like, "Hey," I kind of overheard, was like, "Hey, that's one of those guys," and the guy was like shouting at me, you know, "Hey, get your trash off my car." I'm like, "All right."
A construction guy?
Yeah. I get.
He might. Well, you know what? If someone was to put a flyer in my car as well, if I was in a Walmart parking lot or something,
Okay.
and I saw some guy just walking down, and he's putting flyers on.
Specifically was because.
I mean, did he know what you were putting on, or did he just think it was
I
just
think
some trash?
Linda must have talked to him before, or I had talked to him that I couldn't hear very well. But I heard her pretty much say, "That's one of those Robin Hood people." He had a ticket on his car.
Yeah.
Later in the day, he had another ticket on his car. I guess he just wanted to get tickets.
Yeah, it's
I
very.
guess he's getting paid enough for a union job.
You know, I do meet people who have all kinds of bad things to say about the Robin Hooders, but when you actually ask them why, it's like they don't know. They're
harassing the parking people.
I mean, they just heard it from somebody who
Just
says
like
that
most
they're
other things.
bad,
It's like a urban legend.
and that exactly, and that it really is hurting. Everyone's going to have to pay for it in the end. I've heard that from people who have said that I'm not looking forward to my taxes going up because of those stupid Robin Hooders. And it's just like, come on, no, just stop and think about what you just said. I mean, stop and think about the logic behind this.
Right.
Your taxes are going up because there's
As long as it's not them that's being stolen from, it's okay to steal from somebody for this arbitrary parking thing that supposedly was put into place because
they're criminals.
Yeah, well-
they're fucking criminals. They broke the law.
Remember, it wasn't about revenue until it became about revenue. Now they're trying to sue us for costs.
Absolutely.
And lost revenue.
So it's fun how that's turned around, but you don't hear the Sentinel writing that article, do they? They haven't put that in the old
Funny,
slant
how
hole.
is it?
They did run the letter to the editor written by Fred Parcells and a couple of the rebuttals.
Except mine, which was too personal.
Yours was
It was directed too much at Fred.
directed at Fred,
But you
not
can't-
a general audience about Fred.
But you can read that at freekeen.com. It's there. It's and it's interesting. I like it. I put some good numbers up there. And the numbers that I found, by the way, if you're watching this in Keene, the big argument has always been that parking enforcement, the money that they receive, is actually paying for something. Snow removal, the trimming of the grass and whatnot, the picking up of the trash. Here's what it's paying for. It's paying for the parking enforcers, their uniforms, their training, their insurance, everything. It's paying for the parking enforcers,
Their
and the
supervisors.
city, and then about $30,000 extra. So the city is making this year. Supposedly they're not going to make it this year, but it's supposedly by the budget, the budget that they set up last year. They plan on making $30,000 this year that they can put into snow removal and stuff like that. Guess what? They're not going to make this year. Guess what? They enough.
I've seen other numbers that were run that said that they lose that amount of money every year.
They lose a lot of money because they have current parking structures that they're paying for still because of bonds, I think, and future. That's what they anticipate. So that's a huge part of their budget.
Yeah.
I think it's $250,000 just to staff and run the system, just to collect fines and collect meter fees.
Well, I came with $600,000
All included. Okay.
for parking enforcers, training, maintenance, the girl at the window,
Right.
the whole night.
There's like 6
$600,000.
people that work for them, technically, right? I think that's what I saw.
And which is funny
Yeah,
because
they've
there's
got
only,
like 2 or 3 people in
because
supervisory
there's only
positions.
exactly. There's only 2 people out in the streets, and yet there's 2 people in charge, and there's 1 girl at the window. It's like, all right, something's wrong here. Something's really,
People
really
gotta
wrong.
have jobs, man.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. They have to have
there's a
jobs.
movie-
But it would be nice if they were actually doing something for society that they're trying to defend, that they claim that all this is for. It'd be nice if they were actually making something. If they were actually creating something of substance.
There's a movie that came out in 2006 about a parking enforcer. And there's a scene where somebody comes running up to the parking enforcer crying, "I don't have any money, blah, blah, blah." He's like, but I get reprimanded. I've already started writing the ticket. I get reprimanded. And she's crying, and so he's just like, all right, I'll be nice. And he crumples up the ticket.
Right.
And then a couple scenes later, he's getting talked to by the supervisor. And the supervisor says, you want to explain this to me? And he was like, well, you realize that the money that they're conning out of you goes to hospitals and roads and children. So you're helping them steal money from terminally ill homeless children.
This is what the supervisor said.
Yeah. And there are people that actually fucking believe that. There are people that believe that, if I pay your parking meter for you, that I am stealing money from terminally ill homeless children.
Okay. Well, 20, 30 years ago, more of that money might have been going to other places, like snow removal and stuff. But today, no. None of that money is going to snow removal. None of the fines, and I'm talking about the fines and the collection. So those two added together, they are not going to snow removal. So people need to wake up and realize
they're not even going to pay for cutting the fucking grass.
That's what I mean. This department has grown and grown and grown, and they've grown right out of their pants. And they can't fit them any longer, and now they're running around. The king the emperor is butt ass naked, and no one is saying anything about it except us.
Sooner or later, they're going to.
What would happen if everybody paid their fines? Who would they blame? I mean, everybody put money in their meters, and nobody got tickets.
Yeah, good question. What would be the argument then? So everyone's just like,
if you pay your meter, you're killing children because the hospitals aren't being funded.
No, exactly. Oh, no, if we don't have this many fines, if people don't break the laws, because they become to rely on people who break the laws.
Right.
Yeah. That's why they've got the one officer that walks around the college busting kids for open container because the city relies on that source of revenue.
But it's to keep the peace, Daryl. The peace.
Right, when they're getting $10,000 in one court day from those fines.
Oh, good. And speaking of alcohol enforcement, we just ran into our own McHugh's, which we frequent for Social Sunday every week. Had a little incident last week during one of the pub crawls, which is a...
We think it was during one of the pub crawls.
And we're not going to be able to attend... Well, I guess we could attend it, but they're not going to be serving alcohol to us next week.
They're not going to be open for 5 days.
And why aren't they going to be open for 5 days, Daryl?
Because Liquor Commission pulled their license for 5 days.
That's going to learn them.
We have found the witch, may we burn her?
Fucking, they're not even stationed here in Keene. They're out of Concord, and they drive here every week to
every couple of weeks, yeah.
To essentially fine people, to close industries, the businesses down. And what was it? But why did? What was the background behind why they had to close for 5 days?
Okay, well, a couple of years ago, someone who was served alcohol at McHugh's got into an accident. Mm-hmm. And so that then put McHugh's on double secret probation of if anything else happens, then we will. And apparently some girl was drunk leaving the bar, which one would think it's legal to get drunk in a bar, right?
That's why you go.
So she leaves the bar, and this is what I heard secondhand. She leaves the bar and apparently stumbles. And a liquor enforcement officer is in the parking lot and asks the girl, on a scale of 1 to 10, how drunk are you? And she said, probably a 7 or an 8. All right, thank you. Nothing else was said to the girl.
Okay.
And then apparently it's illegal to give someone who is drunk alcohol if they give you money in exchange for it inside of an establishment that gives people alcohol in exchange for money.
So you're supposed to give them breathalyzer tests now to determine if they're legally impaired?
I know. And here's another question. Is McHugh's going to be able to appeal this? Because look at all the business he's going to lose.
I don't think so.
Well, I mean, if they do appeal, what's going to happen? They get
It'll
financially
take
compensated?
4 years before anything's decided.
It's still going to be closed for 5 days in the meantime.
And so people wonder why things never get fixed because the system is so entrenched.
You know what?
that you can't fucking fix things.
Why don't they close the liquor store if they found out somebody bought liquor and hit somebody or got pulled over?
And I have another idea. Let's take the liquor stores off the fucking highways because
This is so ridiculous, isn't it?
No,
especially the main highways.
While you're on your way home, you stop and buy
Here's
some
what
liquor.
we
Hey,
should
at least
do.
they're not open 24 hours a day.
Have somebody
Oh God! Yeah.
have somebody pretend to be drunk and go into a liquor store.
That's actually I've been wondering if they would serve you, if they would sell you.
Well,
Just tell them I'm not driving.
back in the day I worked.
I'm not driving.
I worked at a convenience store for a couple of months.
What do you
back in the
mean
day,
driver's license? I'm not driving.
And we were forbidden. It wasn't it might have been a law, but as far as I knew, it was the establishment rules. We were forbidden to sell drunk people alcohol
That's the law.
because it would have come back to bite us, and I would have lost my job. The company would have lost a lot of money because that's how they do, man. That's how they make their
Did
money.
you have to discriminate against a lot of homeless men or something?
I discriminate against all kinds. It
All
was old women. It was
Maybe-
young people, young college kids. It was everybody. I discriminated against.
You know how a lot of comedy clubs and other establishments where there's some kind of performance and they sell alcohol, they'll do a thing of like 2-drink minimum.
Right.
Maybe one of these state legislates will get the brilliant idea to pass a law saying 2-drink maximum. Nobody can purchase more than 2 alcohols.
Ooh. Bloomberg, send an email. He'll
Nobody-
He'll pick that
Well,
one.
he's not mayor anymore, though.
Oh.
Hey,
The other guy.
hold on.
But he's still a rich lobbyist, though.
We know that John McLean watches this show. Hey, John, if you really want to be a nanny and dictate to everybody what they can do, get the city council to pass something saying that nobody can have more than 2 alcohols.
And let's get
2-drink maximum.
and let's get cats registered while we're at it.
That's right.
Let's pay a $10 registration fee for all the cats that are walking around Keene right
everybody's
now.
gotta get
Add an
microchip.
ovary tax.
For
animals.
for humans.
No, for animals. Because they've got the testicle tax. Add an ovary tax.
You
no,
can't discriminate
You
against
can't
males.
discriminate
Yeah.
against bitches.
No, but
You can't discriminate against bitches.
but no, it's already.
So if you've got the $2.50 tax for a dog having testicles,
No, it's already.
you need a $2.50 tax for dogs that have ovaries.
Yeah, but it's not. Yeah, but you've changed it to the testicle tax.
Daryl, why do you hate
It's
females?
actually called the fixed tax or something. It's the neutered spade
I thought
tax.
it was only neutered.
No, if your bitch is fixed, then
Okay, I was told that it was only neutered.
no. That doesn't make any sense. I mean, if you're no, it's both sexes,
Okay.
both genders.
Equal rights.
That's right, right across the board, man.
Free doggy abortion.
But if we're gonna be free and balanced and across the board, then we got to get
free doggy abortion.
we got to get cats on that registration. We got to get rabbits, chickens, gerbils, children,
guinea pigs.
I mean, the whole nine.
Goldfish. Register your fucking goldfish.
I mean, last time I checked, my kids are just as likely to get rabies as my dog.
Well, they were already registered. They got a social security number, right?
What
Yes.
about immunizations?
Well, you got to have
You've
those.
got to have those to go to school.
What if your kids don't go to school?
Then it's
You're
okay.
a bad person.
Then I'm a lawbreaker, and they're going to be beating down my door one of these days to put me in jail, put my kid in a foster home. Well, she's 16 now, so I guess that's not going to happen anytime soon. She'll just run off. But yeah, if my kids were any younger, put them in a foster
By
home.
the time you stir enough shit, she'll be adult.
Well, then I'll be making more. We got to get this. We got to get the system rolling. I only got so much in me, so we got to get this this cycle of life, back on track. Well, I'm still young, right?
Wait, I stopped
Liberty
paying
babies.
attention. What?
Liberty babies. We've got
Who
to.
are you making Liberty babies with?
I don't know. Our community is growing, man. I see it every day. There'll be someone will show up.
So when you
Maybe
think
someone-
about
maybe
making
someone who's already
Liberty
here.
babies, do you get dumber?
You know what? I get more aggressive. I get more animalistic. Definitely the inner
But does your
barbarian.
brain function at the same sort of cognitive ability? Because science says otherwise.
Well, I mean, if a barbarian who is a dumb lout is able to kill you just as more efficiently than I'm able to kill you, because he's got the strength, He's got the power of,
That doesn't
of barbarianism.
say anything about cognitive ability.
But he can kill you more efficiently because he's quicker,
That
more efficient.
says nothing about cognitive ability.
But I'm talking about whenever a man is in a woman's presence, the inner barbarian comes out and he becomes more efficient. He might not be able to do math as well, but he becomes more efficient. And I think I've jumped the.
So you think.
Yeah, no, I think I've jumped the gun on this article. Let's do this article before I get into that conversation.
There's a study. There's actually a couple of studies that prove that men actually do become dumber around women. The article here from Scientific American.
Oh, I got something for that.
Yeah, not quite that dumb, but okay. Movies and television shows are full of scenes where a man tries unsuccessfully to interact with a pretty woman. In many cases, the potential suitor ends up acting foolishly despite his best attempts to impress. It seems like his brain isn't working properly, and according to new findings, it might not be. Researchers have begun to explore the cognitive impairment that men experience before and after interacting with women. A 2009 study demonstrated that after a short interaction with an attractive woman, men experienced a decline in mental performance. A more recent study suggests that this cognitive impairment takes hold even when men simply anticipate interacting with a woman whom they know very little about. A couple of people from the Netherlands ran 2 experiments using men and women who were university students as their participants. They first collected a baseline measure of cognitive performance by having the students complete a Stroop test.
Wait. What's a Stroop test?
I'm about to explain that.
Elaborate. Pray, continue.
A Stroop test is a test developed by psychologist John Ridley Stroop in 1935. It is a common way of assessing our abilities to process competing information. The test involves showing people a series of words describing different colors that are printed in different colored ink. For example, the word blue might be printed in green ink and the word red printed in blue. Participants are asked to name as quickly as possible the color of the ink that the words are written in. The test is cognitively demanding because our brains can't help but process the meaning of the word along with the color of the ink. When people are mentally tired, they tend to complete this task at a slower rate. After completing the Stroop test, participants in the study were asked to take part in another supposedly unrelated task. They were asked to read out loud a number of words while sitting in front of a webcam. The experimenters told them that during this lip-reading task, an observer would watch them over a webcam. The observer was given either a male or female name. Participants were led to believe that this person would see them, but they would not be able to interact. No pictures or other identifying information was provided to the observer. All the participants knew was the name. After this task, the participants took another Stroop test. Women's performance on the second test did not differ, regardless of the gender of the observer. However, men who thought a woman had observed them ended up performing worse on the second test. This cognitive impairment occurred even though the men had not directly interacted with a female observer. In the second study, the psychologist again began the experiment by having each participant complete a Stroop test. Then each participant was led to believe they would be taking part in a lip-reading task, similar to that which occurred in the first study. Again, half of the men were told that they would be observed by men. The other half were led to believe a woman would observe them. In reality, participants never engaged in the second task. After being told about it, they completed another Stroop test to measure their current level of cognitive function. Once again, women's performance on the test did not differ, regardless of whether they were expecting a man or a woman to observe them, but men who had been told that a woman would observe them ended up doing much worse on the second Stroop test. Thus, simply anticipating the opposite sex interaction was enough to interfere with men's cognitive functioning. In today's society, people frequently interact with each other over the phone or online, where they only know or they can only infer the person's gender through their name or voice. The research suggests that even with this very limited interaction, men may experience cognitive impairment when faced with the opposite sex. Although the studies on their own don't offer any concrete explanation, the psychologists think that the reasons may have something to do with men being more strongly attuned to potential mating opportunities, since all of the participants were both heterosexual and young. They might have been thinking about whether the woman might be a potential date. The results may have to do with social expectations, as our society may place more pressure on men to impress women during social interactions. Although this hypothesis remains speculative, previous research has shown that the more you care about making the right impression, the more your brain gets taxed. Such interactions require us to spend a great deal of mental energy imagining how others might interpret our words and actions. For example, psychologist Jennifer Reichison and Nicole Shelton found that Caucasian Americans who hold stronger racial prejudices face similar cognitive impairments after interacting with somebody who is African American. In these situations, individuals who hold strong prejudice must try hard to come across as not prejudiced. In a different study, Reichison and her colleagues found that less privileged students at elite universities experience similar cognitive impairment after being observed by their wealthier peers. Overall, it seems clear that whenever we face situations where we're particularly concerned about the impression that we're making, we may literally have difficulty thinking clearly. In the case of men, thinking about interacting with a woman is enough to make their brains go a bit fuzzy.
Question, and this is the direction that I was taking it before the article, is that so the cognitive skills are impaired, but
Yes.
what is increased? And that's why I was
That's not what they studied.
But
you're asking questions about things that they didn't study.
Yeah, but I'm all about balance. So I mean, this could make sense to me if, as long as something is increased
Blood flow to the dick.
Exactly, and that's where I'm going with that. So I mean, and just regular, getting
Now, if you want
getting her done
if you want
skills.
to contact the university in the Netherlands and ask them to do blood draws to test testosterone levels before and after interacting with a woman, they might do that, but that's not what this study was about.
Right, blood levels where?
Swing.
I didn't say blood levels in the dick. I said check the testosterone level.
Before. Good God, man.
I heard him say it.
Yeah, before. before, Daryl.
Anyway, I've seen plenty of women go stupid in the presence of some men too. So.
Well, there's another article where they really go stupid, and it has something to do with other women who are maybe a little slutty. When women, so the
or a perception of being
exactly. So in this experiment, the women were led to the guys who were being tested were led to the conclusion or to the idea that they would be tested by either a man or a woman, and the women who were tested were asked the same thing, or
they were told the same thing.
led to the same conclusion, but it didn't bother them.
There was no difference in how they performed.
But now, if those same
men got dumber,
men got dumber when they found out that a woman was going to be testing them. But now, but nothing happened to the women. But what would happen if the women found out that they're going to be tested by a man and a slutty woman, like fucking not a slutty woman, but a powerful, beautiful, gorgeous woman, someone really hot and gorgeous.
okay, whatever.
In this stardom. I don't know. Any. Angelina Jolie.
You're comparing two totally different tests.
You're thinking of these hot women now, and your brain's kind of going dumb. That's what's happening.
Hey, he's
already.
He's thinking of our two female viewers.
We just proved
and
it.
one of them that he wants to bone.
Yeah, none of the females who are on this show watch this show. No one watches this show. What am I talking about?
I don't watch.
We have people that watch this show. You get fucking fan mail.
No, that's just mail that I've made up. I'm just sending myself.
So the emails that you showed me last week were made up.
Yeah, I have multiple accounts. I do YouTubes and Facebooks and emails, and I just spread it out.
Do you donate to Robinhood too?
I do not yet.
Because you're not 501c3.
Right.
He can't write that off of his taxes that he may or may not file.
Think about that. All right, so to get off a little bit of the subject, to get way off the subject that we're on.
You're getting off.
Yeah, we don't do a very good job of staying on subject. But this week, one of the free Keen haters brought up what she thought was a really good point, which is the money that is being donated to Robinhooders, which they do receive donated money, and if you do want to donate to these guys who are doing an excellent job. Where can they send that money?
Robinhood.freekeen.com has the details.
Excellent. The details are there. But anyways, Kim is worried that they're not tax exempt. You can't write it off at the end of the year because they haven't filled out the proper forms and requirements with the King's men, which come on, just think about what you just asked. You asked the guys who are the Robinhood. Robinhood doesn't work with the government. They don't work with the King's men.
Robinhood's never claimed that it's a nonprofit either.
And they've never made these claims. They've claimed to be Robinhood.
Someone else apparently claimed that Robinhood was nonprofit, or maybe she's just, curious on behalf of everybody that's made a donation.
She's not curious. She's just looking for some shit to kick.
Can these people write off their $5 donations? Can I write off all of the fucking money that I've had stolen by the government? Can I write that off?
She's living in the old world. She's living in the old mindset. She's following the rules. And the rules say that what we're doing is wrong. But duh, I mean, how do you not know that?
One reason that she does that is because she has her own nonprofit that,
so she
brings in a, sizable amount of money.
What does she
doesn't want competition?
And what does she do for a living?
I don't know.
Does she live off her nonprofit? Is she one of those types?
I don't think so.
She one of those that lives off.
A nonprofit has costs, and especially administrative costs.
Yeah, some of these guys who have to.
But most of those administrative
$100,000 houses and
lots of good. Doesn't mean she maybe made $80,000 a year, but hey, it's a lot of work.
Hey,
but most of those nonprofits,
20% of that is going to the profits.
Yeah.
Most of the nonprofits that have high administrative cost would not have high administrative cost if there wasn't fucking government hoops and hurdles to jump through.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
if they didn't have to keep all of these records for the government.
Why don't you go to Somalia and try it, and we'll see how your idea works.
Duh.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, this is the law.
I heard something, or I actually read it on Facebook first and then heard it briefly on Peace News Now, where Davi Barker was at some nonprofit fundraiser last night in San Francisco, and he made a post that said it's easier for me to donate to a charity in Florida using Bitcoin than it is for me to donate to the organization whose fundraiser I am at.
Mm-hmm.
Because
you have to file forms, or
the fundraiser wanted a bunch of forms, and he said it's going to take them 3 days to process all of these forms and donations.
What we've got here is failure to communicate.
Living in the old world,
but
man.
at least they don't have to pay
Some men
taxes.
you just can't reach.
Well,
Neither does
I'm not-
Sean's Outpost in Pensacola, Florida.
They're not taking money; they're taking Bitcoin.
What did we figure out anything else on this? Why
We
interacting
figured
with
out that you are wanting them to have studied something that they did not study.
only because I want to see everything in the broader picture. I want to see everything. I know you got to do the little studies to make everything work. I guess I'm just jumping.
You can't
Jumping
do
ahead.
57 studies at the same time and then comprehend all of the fucking data.
I know, but you can do 2 or 3 extra studies.
They did 3 tests in their study.
And they have pretty much come to the conclusion that yes, men are dumber.
Men get dumber when they even think that they're going to interact with a woman.
Okay, and I've grasped that. I agree with it. It makes a lot of sense.
But you're saying,
and I
well,
feel-
what's the stuff that they didn't study?
And I feel
It's not in the fucking study.
Stop yelling at me, Jesus Christ!
Stop
Those
yelling at
peaks, look
me!
at those red little lines.
I know you just tore it up. No, listen, I understand this. I agree with it. It makes sense. I want to take it to the next level.
Okay,
now,
find another fucking study to look at.
Now I want to know what
Find another study.
I want to know what powers we've gained. I want to know if being in the presence of a woman doesn't just make my facial hair grow faster and more efficiently, but it also gives me like powers, like superpowers. Like maybe I'm that X-Men who my powers will only come to fruition when I'm in the presence of my girlfriend.
Maybe it's like that's like Hugh
the
Hefner's secret.
fuck is wrong
and
with
so-
this
and
guy?
and
He
so
doesn't like fuck any of them. He's just there to gain all like the psychic energy.
Exactly, he's a psychic
He can live
vampire.
forever. He can live forever.
He's a fucking psychic vampire.
The fuck?
Not to mention he's going to, and when his body finally does die, because he
Right.
can't keep it around forever,
Right.
he's just going to, have his brain transplanted into a nice young Brad Pitt body, and then he's going to continue it on.
Brad Pitt's not that young, dude.
Yeah, you're right. I'm getting older. So yeah, who Tantum or whatever his fucking name is.
Shia LaBeouf.
Tantum.
Channing Tatum.
That one.
That dude's not that young either.
Well, who's the
really.
fucking fucking Bieber? Jesus Christ, man.
Bieber's not heterosexual.
Who finds that hot?
It doesn't matter. Hefner is. So whatever he's.
Isn't that a pretty sad state of men that women find that hot?
I don't know, because women
Yeah.
hang out with gay guys all the time. So I mean, it's just I think that might be.
Yeah, because they want to talk and bitch to them about their problems all the time.
I mean, there's a perfume called Bieber. They're putting them on. They're putting Bieber on.
I saw that in Sam's Club. It's like, really? People are buying this?
Well, when I first
What
saw
does
it,
smell like?
when I first saw it, I'm like, well, that's gonna be a pretty sucky cologne. No, that's not cologne, dude. That's what? That's perfume. Come on, huh?
perfume.
You just gone to that.
Dog.
Just went to that level. He's not hurting anybody.
Daryl.
Why do you hate that dog so much? It's a good dog.
No, he's not.
It's a good dog.
No,
Yeah,
he is not.
Yeah, he is.
No.
Yeah, he is.
All right, so pull up your study about penis envy or whatever the fuck it is.
It's not penis envy. This is sort of similar, and I was kind of alluding to it in the last
Yeah, like
couple
men,
of comments.
Junk gets big around women because their brain gets dumb.
No, this is not that. That doesn't have anything to do with that. But yes, it does.
I'm
It
just
most- it
trying to
most definitely
figure
does.
out how the fuck you're connecting the two.
Well, no, but you're absolutely right. I mean, we get stupider in the brain, but the blood's got to go somewhere, right?
Well, I mean, is it stupid or just are we get like unfocused because we're thinking about banging that hot chick?
Good point, because they
Well,
brought
what to say to
and
her?
they brought that up. They brought that up with the racists. They're like they spend most of their time trying to think of what not to say to get them in trouble, and so it takes their mind off of the important things. It's kind of like me having a conversation with my parents. I spent all my time thinking about all the cuss words I had to remove from my vocabulary, and all the things I can't talk about because they're not going to be fun to listen to. It's kind of like talking politics around Thanksgiving. I mean, no one wants to hear that shit. So you sit there and it's like, all right, what do I talk about that's not something that I usually talk about? So if you're a racist and all you're ever talking about is racist crap, and you have to sit down with a person of color or whatever,
Kill Whitey.
what do you fucking talk about?
Hold on. Well, now, speaking of the let's find a balance thing that you wanted to bring up during my study, what about the racist black people? What happens to them around white people?
They are just, as far as black people not being racist, I have met more openly racist black people in my life coming from the South than I've ever met. I've met plenty of racist white people openly. They're just fucking. And I'm sorry, I take that back. Not
it's
openly,
a higher percentage.
Not openly, but in my presence, they come off as racist. But fucking openly racist black people who will say it right out in the street, it's huge. The numbers are huge. So I know that it's there. I know that it's very present.
But I'm just saying.
So how stupid
those people?
They're racist.
Try to hide their racism.
Good point. So
is that a study that's been done?
Well,
that's the question I'm going to ask. Not, hey Conan, tell me about this study that I don't know has ever existed. What were the results of that study that I don't even know if it happened?
Okay. Well, here's another study that I want to go alongside with the one we read about. That I want to be. If it's so good job, if it's such a good job, Steve, go ahead and make that happen. Good God, what am I thinking about?
You're thinking of our 2 female viewers.
I know.
Both of them.
I know. No, check this out. So anyways.
You're hoping that you get to bang one or both of them on Turkey Goblin Day.
What if the men who were in the study were players? And they found out that a female was going to be researching or investigating their lipstick.
They might be in the margin of error, because every study has a margin of error.
Right. So yeah, what if they're players? What if they're very confident and very comfortable in the presence of a woman, and that's where they want to be. That's when the energy comes out of them, and
they're still thinking about it.
So their mind is still on one thing.
Right.
Just like. Okay.
Maybe more well rehearsed and smoother and more confident, but
on average, men still performed worse.
I mean, it's just like being on stage and being pre-prepared and knowing what you're going to talk about. I mean, you come off smoother and more rehearsed, and more acceptable.
Okay, so tell us about your study.
This is not my study. This is actually something that Jay brought to the table.
Because I'm such a misogynist.
And I tried to get our dear friend Shauna on because I wanted a female to bring some gender debate to the table.
Oh, but it's 3 men talking about women tonight.
Yeah, I know. This is great.
So it's like every libertarian event that I've ever been to.
Yeah, well, yeah, but a
bunch of guys. Why aren't there women here?
Yeah, well, 2 episodes ago we did have 2 women on the table down to debate, and last week we had 1 woman. It would have been perfect. So I guess we just got to get our show topics in order. We should have just held on to this.
We need to care more about the show. That's what needs to happen.
People care about this show.
I kind of care.
You do care.
I do kind of care, and
I like mailing in all the time.
Especially when I meet new listeners, it really helps me out. If you guys are watching this and you do like what you see,
we have more than 1 listener.
Yeah, it was like 2 or something, and now it's like at least 5. But
nice.
I mean, if you really do like this, like more what you're seeing, or you don't like what you're seeing, and you want us to cover something else, get on the Facebook page.
Maybe you should like get a phone number out there for the 80-year-old people out there sitting on the couch.
Get a Google Voice number.
They haven't moved to Florida yet, and it's still in Queens.
I tell you what, if you want
a Google Voice number so that people can call in to like the Black Sheep Rising bitch line.
Yes, tell us how much you hate us, please.
I'll give my daughter a part-time job answering that. No, listen,
you don't have to answer. Google Voice will record all of those.
Is it free?
Yes.
Is it?
Yes.
Okay, I'll get that set up. But anyways, other than that, you can always call Cheshire TV, and they have
motherfucker over here. Is it free? I'll take 5 of them.
I'll take 5 of them Google voicemails. No, call Cheshire
it's
TV
12
and they
cents.
will.
Oh, fuck that.
Stop it, and they will give you my number, and you can call me. And I've already had interactions with some of the viewers who are not really happy about
Get
the
a
profanity.
Google voice number, and then people can call and bitch at us.
At the moment, I'm not doing away with the profanity. I feel safer. I feel more open. I feel like I can have a better debate
Should we do the George Carlin?
if I'm not
730
watching
words
what
now?
I say. If I'm not watching what I say every second, it's just that study we just covered. If I'm thinking about my words all the time, then I'm
It's
less
not
like
done on purpose. We're not being like overtly profane. It's just how people normally talk.
I'm just being truthful. It's just how I'm not going to hold back. I'm going to be transparent for you guys.
I might say fuck a couple extra times just because I can.
I mean, yeah, it's just, and when you get down to it, the fuck are you really doing? I mean, are you really hurting anybody?
Fuck no.
How the fuck does it hurt anybody?
Oh my God, he says that word I say in private on the public telewaves.
That's right.
We need a fuck counter on this show. That way it'll pop up a little thing every time I say fuck.
Yeah. Listen,
Keep it up in the upper left-hand corner.
This article is called "A Cold War Fought by Women," and the question is, how aggressive is the human female? When anthropologists,
She will claw your fucking eyes out if you fuck with her.
you damn straight she will. When anthropologist,
That's at least got to be like 14. so
Sarah
far.
B. Hurdy surveyed the research literature 3 decades ago, she concluded that the competitive components in nature of women remains anecdotal, intuitively sensed, but not confirmed by science.
So, hold on. Before we get too much into this study here, do you think that this has something to do with sort of the matriarchal hierarchy of sorts in certain animals in the animal kingdom?
Including humans 100 years ago? Where... Yeah, I mean, if you ask anybody off the streets and ask them who is the fairest sex, who is more compassionate, who is more sensitive, they're all going to say women. Because it's just been we've grown up watching it on Disney. The
Right.
fairer sex is more compassionate and more is more likely to
Well,
But
that's
I'm
Disney.
to help a poor
That's
man on the
television.
streets.
That's
the Disney version of life.
Is more likely to raise children in the whole nine because men are super aggressive and we smack people around and we get in fights all the time and
Penguins, the male carries the eggs and the male raises the babies.
right.
Lions, it's the female lions that go hunting.
But it's also the male lions who eat the cubs that are the male cubs that they don't want being introduced into the pride. So they go ahead and what do they eat? They eat probably just as many male cubs as they do gazelle.
Right.
So they're not. They don't get a pass. But yeah, you're absolutely right.
I'm just saying that there is the aggressive matriarchal hierarchy in certain animals in the animal kingdom, and even throughout history, there have been a very limited number of matriarchal hierarchy societies throughout history.
Yes, there were some Indian tribes here in the Americas before they were decimated.
There were even some Asian tribe, like more what would be considered Russia now, but Russia is part of Asia. But there have been some matriarchal societies.
Yeah. And you know what? And there might be, if there is, in fact, if we come to the conclusion, which I don't think that we are, that women are, in fact, less aggressive, that might be the way to go. Because, what do we spend in half of our budget on here in this country? Half of it is on aggressive behavior. It's on...
Well, it's all on aggressive behavior.
But I mean,
$1 trillion of it is on foreign policy.
But I mean, absolute, undeniable aggressive behavior. The other half of the aggressive behavior, the stealing the money from the people to pay for the things that we don't really need, is not seen as aggressive. But you can absolutely agree. You cannot disagree that we are spending half of our budget on killing people. So
it's not quite half.
So what would happen if most...
Definitely a third. Not quite half.
That's the last time I looked at the old budget.
$1 trillion a year is going towards foreign policy, which includes keeping nearly 1,000 bases around the world.
Okay, yeah.
Federal budget is currently a little over $3 trillion.
Yeah, it's a whole hell of a lot.
Yes.
But what would happen if women ran the system? What if men just stayed home and raised kids and worked in the garage and did hobbies?
Because the women in the system now are kind of more like men.
Yeah, the warmongering women like, and Condoleezza Rice and Dianne Feinstein and a bunch of other fucking cunts.
And you could argue, even if there was a quote-unquote
found the witch, may we burn
matriarchy that ran things, there were the people that wanted to be aggressive would still end up at the top.
Right. Well, yeah, that's the power, attracts corruption.
And how the hell did I forget Kelly Ayotte? She's a fucking warmongering cunt.
Well, the direction we're going to is in this article.
Well, I just wanted to make sure that I mentioned her because she is she's one of the senators from New Hampshire.
One of the warmongers.
And she's a warmongering cunt, so can't forget her.
All right. Science has come a long way since then, as Dr. Hurdy notes.
Since when?
Since the last paragraph that I read fucking 5 minutes ago.
Right. That's why I'm asking when, because it's been so long since we read that paragraph. In the last 3 decades.
To a recent issue of the Philosophical Transactions of the Royal Society devoted entirely to the topic of female aggression. She credits the stunning amounts of new evidence partly to better research techniques and partly to entry of so many women into scientific fields once dominated by men.
Conan's thinking about reading a study about women, thus his brain isn't functioning at the proper level.
Yes.
It's amazing.
Yes. I've got a drop for that. The existence of female competition may seem obvious to anyone who has been in a high school cafeteria or a singles bar, but analyzing has been difficult because it tends to be more subtle and indirect and a lot less violent than the male variety.
All right, so let me ask a question real quick. Are there any bars that actually, promote themselves as we're a singles bar? Because I've never fucking seen one.
I think that with the whole new dating scene, the internet dating scene, I think things like that might be before our time. I know that
there's a sports bar, and then there's just like the local neighborhood bar.
And of course, we grew up in the country. I know that I
didn't grow up in the country.
Derek was talking about there being bars, gay bars that were only set up for that clientele, and they're actually starting to fall out of favor because they're not needed any longer. You've got apps for that. You've got dating sites. You've got apps. It's like, why
pre-screen?
Yeah.
Hey, I want to fuck this guy. I'll message him.
Exactly. So how many more people can you reach that way than going to a silly bar with maybe 30 people there, and you've got to kind of walk through them all.
When you have
an app that has a picture and a description.
I've never seen a bar that advertises itself as singles bar.
Neither have I, but I grew up in the country, so I don't know.
I have seen bars that advertise themselves as gay bar.
Why do you keep interrupting me?
Because that's what I do.
Because I didn't interrupt you. I wanted to a couple of times, but I didn't. Now that researchers have been looking more closely, they say that in this intrasexual competition is the most important factor explaining the pressure that young women feel to meet standards of sexual conduct and physical appearance. The old doubts about female competitiveness derived partly from an evolutionary analysis of the reproductive odds in ancient polygynous.
And I'm glad that they use the word polygynous because that is the grammatically correct term.
Mm-hmm.
Most people want to say polyamorous, and polyamory is just fucking wrong because it takes Greek and Latin and mixes that together, and that's just weird.
Yeah, but you know what? So it's actually mixing the two. But how many of the words how much of our vocabulary is a mixture of all different types?
The entire English language is a mixture of other languages.
So why can't I take a Spanish word and a German word and put them together?
You can. It's just fucking wrong.
I'm going to do it. I'm going to look forward to making more words.
Taco schnitzel.
Exactly. Where was it? Oh, so anyways. I forgot the word again. Polygynous societies in which some men were left single because dominant males had multiple wives. So men had to compete to have a chance of reproducing, whereas virtually all women were assured of it, especially if you're in the libertarian community. It's, you don't even have to try. But even in those societies, women were not passive trophies for victorious males. They had their own incentives to compete with one another for more desirable partners and more resources for their children. And now that most people live in monogamous societies, most women face the same odds as men. In fact, they face tougher odds in some places like many college campuses when there are more women than men. To see how female students react to a rival, researchers brought pairs of them into a laboratory at McMaster University for what was ostensibly a discussion about female friendships. But the real experiment began when another young woman entered the room asking where to find one of the researchers. Ooh. This woman had been chosen by the researchers, Tracy Valancourt and Anakul Sharma, because she embodied qualities considered attractive from an evolutionary perspective, meaning a low waist-to-hip ratio, clear skin, large breasts. Sometimes she wore a T-shirt.
Hold on. Low waist to hip ratio?
I meant to research that and figure out what that actually meant.
I know what that means. It means that your hips are not a lot wider.
Small waist to hips.
Hourglass shape.
No, that would be a high hip to waist ratio.
Whatever. I think people get it.
No, it's
low hip to waist.
It's waist to hip. So low waist to hip. So it's a small waist to
big ass
the size of the hips.
No, I believe low waist to hip ratio means that there's not a big differential.
Well, I think what they should say, instead of saying low, they should say small or big. So if you have a small waist, or compared to a big waist.
No, this is the hip to waist ratio, meaning what he was saying, the hourglass figure.
I get that.
So like 36, 24, 36. That's
I get that.
A difference of 12. So a lower hip to waist ratio would be 36, 28, 34. That's a smaller difference. Thus, the ratio is
keep going.
lower.
We'll have to look that up. If we look at the picture of this young lady,
she's not super curvy.
She isn't. She's kind of thin.
Curvy.
Of course,
what does curvy mean?
Of course, we're also she's not voluptuous, but we're also looking at a side view of her, and so we can't actually see how big her hips is to her waist.
What's her measurements?
What the fuck?
That way we would know what they mean.
She's very attractive. So fuck you.
She is, but I like curvy women.
And her waist to hip ratio right now.
And I could pick her up comfortably and manhandle her comfortably. Okay, so anyway.
I would break her in half.
Oh, you're such a bad person. All right, so anyways, yes, low waist to hip ratio, which we'll look up some other day, clear skin, large breasts, and they didn't seem all that large to me, but they were nice. Sometimes she wore a T-shirt and jeans, other times a tight-fitting, low-cut blouse and short skirt. In jeans, she attracted little notice and no negative comments from the students, whose reactions were being secretly recorded during the encounter and after the woman left the room. But when she wore the other outfit, virtually all of the students reacted with hostility. They stared at her, looked her up and down, rolled their eyes, and sometimes showed outright anger. One asked her in disgust, "What the fuck is that?"
We don't know what the expletive is.
What the shit?
What the shit is that? What the cunt is that? I don't know.
Say cunt. That could be like Britain, right?
I know exactly.
What the cunt is that?
What the bloody hell?
Most of the aggression, though, happened after she left the room. Then the students laughed about her and impugned her motives.
Tried to guess.
Yeah, I know what it meant. I couldn't say it. I never said it out loud.
Okay.
One student suggested that she dressed that way in order to have sex with a professor. Another said that her breasts were about to pop out. The results of the experiment jibe with evidence that this mean girl form of indirect aggression is used more by adolescents and young women than by older women who have less incentive to handicap rivals once they marry. I like that. I like handicap. It's like fucking shooting someone in the knees. Kneecapping. Other studies have shown that the more attractive an adolescent girl or woman is, the more likely she is to become a target for indirect aggression from her female peers. And this is why I really wanted to have a pretty girl on the show, so she can just come right out and say, "Yeah, I've been the target of, mean girl syndrome from my fat girlfriends all my whole life because, I don't know."
Well, it's true. I mean, guys are going to pay more attention to the hottest,
Exactly.
whatever's going on in the brain.
And as far as I'm concerned, it's not just, for the regular male. It's most definitely the hotness, the sex that you see first. But I'm also, here in our community,
How smart are you?
how smart are you? What kind of job do you have? What kind of money are you making? Those things are very important to me. And especially for me, are you an artist or, or do you take care of yourself? These other things are very important. Do you play video games? Yeah, very important. And
You don't look like a gamer.
how do you not see that? The only reason I don't spend as much time politicking as you do is because the other half of my life is spent playing video games.
Ah,
Yes, love 'em, dude. You didn't know that?
no, I did not.
You learned something about me tonight that you never knew. All right, where was that?
Now I know what I'm
Yeah,
going
I
to
just
say
wanna
during
make
the
a
What Did I
comment,
Learn Tonight.
There's a big problem in
You can't use that. You already said it.
What?
He wanted to use what he learned tonight about me. All right, go ahead and use it. I don't fucking care. Sorry, Jay. Sorry, go.
Can I talk here, mother?
Talk.
It was him.
Talk is cheap.
Preventing you. Go ahead.
Talk is cheap.
Speaking of this competition between Pretty Woman, there's a big problem because HR, human resources, is mostly women usually, and they will discriminate against hires especially if they're fat, ugly women that are in there.
I remember watching a study, except I can't remember which direction it took, but I know that they took a plain woman, kind of a humbly woman, and they took a hot female in there, and the hot females got the jobs, as long as they were being interviewed by a man.
Yep.
And the fat girl would not get the job, but if they went and were interviewed by a female HR. They were, I think it was about equal.
I think the Pretty Woman was more qualified.
They had the pretty girl be more qualified.
I'm sorry. I think she was more qualified. I think she was more qualified by both genders. But I think that when it was a female interviewer, the fat girl was more likely to be found at a balanced level.
It's a more neutral work environment, so they don't feel like they're competing all the time, right?
All right, where were we at? So yes, is more likely she to become a target for indirect aggression from female peers or bitches.
And see, this is indirect aggression. So your theory of let's have a pretty girl talk about it, she might not know because it's not direct.
No, if you're a target, you know it. Because we're going to get to why you would know it in the next paragraphs. Women
But you might not.
Because
it's people talking behind your back.
You will figure it out unless you're a retard. And there are those types who are not smart enough to realize that people are talking about behind their backs, but most people figure that out
I'm just
eventually.
saying you might not know exactly what's being said. Mm-hmm. You might know somebody's saying shit about you,
right?
But you're not going to know exactly what it is that's being said.
Right. Women are indeed very capable of aggressing against others, especially women they perceive as rivals, Dr. Valancourt, now a psychologist at the University of Ottawa. The research also shows that suppression of female sexuality is by women, not necessarily by men. Stigmatizing female promiscuity, aka slut-shaming, has often been blamed on men who have a Darwinian incentive to discourage their spouses from straying. But they also have a Darwinian incentive to encourage other women to be promiscuous. Dr. Valancourt said that the experiment and other research suggests the stigma is enforced mainly by women. Sex is coveted by men, she said. Accordingly, women limit access as a way of maintaining advantage in the negotiation of this resource.
They are gatekeepers to the vagina.
That's right. They're the fucking gatekeepers. Women who make sex too readily available compromise the power-holding position of the group, which is why many women are particularly intolerant of women who are or seem to be promiscuous. Yeah, I've actually seen this. it.
You know what I read yesterday? It's a study.
You thinking about sex?
It is.
Your brain's not working?
20% of women that have had sex actually absorb the DNA out of male semen, even if they don't get pregnant or anything like that.
How long do they hold on to it?
Part of there'll be groups of cells in their body that have the male DNA in it.
Forever, or
Yes,
does
forever.
it wear off?
They'll duplicate with the male.
Do you think? Wow, that's very interesting. I'll have to see that study.
So, is there actually a biological reason for slut shaming?
Yeah. So if you
come in a woman, even if she doesn't get pregnant, it's being absorbed.
So if she's more like a man, if she has more man DNA, she might be more likely to be like a man, which is more acceptable to men. So she's going to be hanging around with them more. Therefore,
more sluttier.
Maybe not more sluttier, but I think
maybe
what I've seen is the women who hang out with guys, and they're not necessarily getting around. They just hang out with guys more. A lot of the women on our group hang around with guys more, and they're not necessarily getting around. But how are they perceived by the normal women who?
I also saw a study that said that the more intelligent a woman is, the more likely she's going to want to hang around with guys that are also intelligent.
I think that's true.
I think more intelligent. I think intelligent people are going to try to hang out with intelligent people,
said to me
regardless of the sex. I don't know,
but it's one of those things of the judgmentalism by women.
Uh-huh.
So to avoid the judgmentalism, they're going to seek out people that aren't going to
see all
judge
the bullshit
them.
beyond the bullshit.
I think you can take this same study and apply it to smart, stupid people.
Smart, stupid people.
Well, smart / stupid, or smart versus
the smart people slashing the stupid people.
Smart versus stupid people. I think that the two groups are going to be biased to one another, and so say for example the girl was sitting in the say a poor girl is sitting in the interviewer's office, and a fancy rich guy walks in, versus some guy just wearing jeans. How will that study behave? Will they be more likely to identify and relate to the guy wearing jeans versus the guy who comes in looking like a fucking douchebag? What's the word I'm looking for? The college a yuppie. Because if a yuppie walks into my room, I'm probably going to be biased to that person.
Do people still call themselves fucking yuppies now?
No, they've never called themselves yuppies. As other people call them yuppies. The guys that wear the I don't know, the scarves that aren't scarves.
Ascots. Mr. Furley. Mr. Furley's not intimidating.
Oh, this article's taking so long.
You fucking bastard.
As long as they're old.
Indirect aggression can take a psychological toll on women who, this is where we're going, Daryl, but before you were asking how do they pick up on this, on women who are ostracized or feel pressured to meet impossible standards like the vogue of thin bodies in many modern societies. Studies have shown that women's ideal body shape is to be thinner than average and thinner than what men consider the ideal shape to be. I don't believe that. This pressure is frequently blamed on the ultra-thin female role model featured in magazines and on television. But Christopher J. Ferguson and other researchers say that it is mainly the result of competition with their peers, not media images. I do agree with that. I think the competition is between women and not necessarily for us. I think they're just competing with each other. I think they're just as competitive as we are. But as far as being
why are they competing against each other? It's to attract a man.
Exactly. But is their ideal shape actually thinner than my ideal shape of what the ideal woman should be?
I don't know. Do you think that olive oil needs to lose 5 pounds?
Olive oil is a line. She's not even skinny. She's gone past skinny. She's a line. She's a line in the shadows. No, olive oil is not a good example. Someone like who's a skinny girl on the
anorexic Lindsay Lohan. Not attractive Lindsay Lohan from the...
She was hot when like 18, 19.
She looked good in Mean Girls.
But now she's all anorexic.
I haven't seen pictures. I know when you see... I don't mind ribs down here. That's acceptable. But when you can when you can count the ribs in your breastbone, Now that's too skinny.
Then they have giant tits. And it's like they must be fake.
Exactly. Or when you our elbows is another one. You got these fucking knives for elbows, and that's all you can see is just they're just wielding knives. They're like predators. Yeah, but ribs down here. I mean, I can see my ribs. I mean, I'm not a skinny guy. I'm just lean.
The fuck you're not?
I'm lean. I'm high school lean. I maintain my high school rate, and I'm proud of it. All right, where we go? The pressure is frequently blamed on ultra-thin females. To a large degree, the media reflects trends that are going on in society, not creates them, said Dr. Ferguson, a psychologist of Stetson University. He found that women's dissatisfaction with their bodies did not correlate with what they watched on television or at home, nor were they influenced by TV programs shown in laboratory experiments. Watching the svelte actress on Scrubs, who is fucking hot, induced no more feelings of inferiority than watching the not-so-svelte star on Roseanne. Say that word for me. Svelte?
Svelte. I think it's Yiddish.
Yeah, those fucking Yiddishes. But he found that women were more likely to feel worse when they compared themselves with peers in their own society circles, or even if they were in a room with a thin stranger like the assistant to Dr. Ferguson, who ran an experiment with female college students. When she wore makeup and sleek business attire, the students were less satisfied with their own bodies than when she wore baggy sweats and no makeup. And they felt still worse. I think
women are so fucking hot in baggy sweats.
And they felt still worse. Well, we for citizens. And they felt still worse when there was an attractive man in the room with her. I actually don't have problems with some of the pajamas these girls wear. I know it's fucking tacky. I know most of the women...
when they walk, you can see the butt jiggle?
I know most of the time the women who do wear pajamas are nasty. But when a good-looking girl wears pajamas...
And you can see her butt jiggle when she walks?
When a good-looking woman is wearing
pajamas.
Brain's going, man. The brain is going.
He's over here saying vajamas because he's thinking of vagina.
It is yoga pants season.
When the pajama top is on and no fucking silly ass bra that is unnecessary, and you can see it all moving, you can see a little side boob. Oh my god! I mean, I got no problem with it. It's just I do have a problem with nasty people who are wearing it who need to cover up. I mean, if you don't have it, just don't flaunt it. I mean, just be.
Why are you judging them? So what if they're 200 pounds overweight and wearing that shit?
Hey, I'm not going to walk up to them and say, "Hey, look."
Take their picture and put it on peopleofwalmart.com.
I'm not going to be. I'm going to be judgmental in my own opinion on my own show. I'm going to talk about it, but I'm not going to go up and say you need to stop what you're doing. There should be a law. You know, I'm not going to waste my time with that nonsense because they. Do what the fuck you want, man. I got no problem with it. I'm still going to talk about it. So if you want to be a nudist or something here in Keene and you walk around your yard nude and you're horrible looking, I had no problem with it. I'm going to talk about it.
I was in Walmart about 6 months ago in Keene. And
I'm sorry.
There was these 300 or 400 pound women all there, and there were 2 of them were screaming like at their kids, and it was just like, how can anyone ever find this attractive enough to breed with?
Honey Boo Boo's mother has a boyfriend.
Yeah. She's got money, too. That's how that works.
She's the aggressive one in that relationship.
I know, exactly.
That's why.
She is most definitely an aggressive person.
She probably puts the strap on it, and yeah.
To finish this up real quick, sexual competition among females seems to increase due to circumstances that tend to be particularly common in affluent societies, Dr. Ferguson said. In traditional villages, people married at an early age to somebody nearby, but young men... Hold on, did I read that right? People married at an early age to someone nearby, but young men and women in modern societies are free to postpone marriage as long as they search long and far for better options.
Better options? Who's doing that more? That's women looking for better options these days.
The result is more competition.
There's a bunch of guys that are like, I just want to spread my seeds.
Oh, I was about to say
that's because less women are committing these days, or want to commit before they're 30. They want to go to college and work on their careers.
The result is more competition because there are so many more rivals, and there's no longer any scientific doubt that both sexes are in it to win it. And
what does winning even fucking mean?
It's a battle, man. It's competitive.
Right, but
this is why I play video games, man.
But how do you win? At the end of the day, everybody fucking dies. How do you win at life?
How many? Maybe it's different for everybody.
Spreading your DNA.
Maybe it's how much DNA you get out there. Maybe it's how many relationships that you're in. Maybe it's a long-term relationship with a whole shit ton of kids. Maybe it's fucking seeing your grandchildren when they're in high school. I mean, there's all kinds of different possibilities to take this to. It's different for everybody.
But in this specific thing of competition among dating and nobody's in it to win it, what do they consider to be winning?
We just said it. We just said it. I mean, it depends on the person. And
I'm saying the author of this thing,
it's probably just
that says there's no longer any scientific doubt that both sexes are in it to win it. What does that mean? Because it says that people are postponing marriage, so obviously marriage isn't winning.
It's the spreading of your DNA.
How do you know that's what they mean?
Because I'm just taking it from an evolutionary standard, from natural selection. At the end of the day, it's not who lives longer. It's not who has the most money. It's not who is.
So Genghis Khan wins.
It's not who's. How many kids did he have?
I don't know, but there's a claim that like a seventh of the world has Genghis Khan DNA.
Then he won. That's how you win. So it's not how pretty you are. It's not how powerful you are. It's not how rich you are. It's not how long you live.
But here,
how many people you can convince to have your children.
It's how many. And
here's another question.
And your kids have to survive as well. So you can't.
Here's another
so you can't be with a
question,
loose, slutty woman who has diseases
the
or something.
government's around to keep all your kids alive today, so you don't have to worry about.
So the government's
like,
winning.
how far back are we going to go?
It's also interfering with that stuff too, right?
Yeah.
How far back are we going to go to
you can have
figure
sex
out
without consequence? Even if you know. If you don't believe in abortion, stuff like that, you're all set no matter what.
Well, no, you can argue that the responsible people who are having less children and maybe not children and having any children at all are actually being beat out by the evolution of government, because government rewards the people who
make bad decisions.
Exactly. They're voters. So I mean, yeah, it rewards bad decisions. So actually, evolution has really hit a nasty little.
It's only getting worse because more people are making those bad decisions, and they have to keep covering more and more
until someone creates the virus. Maybe the fucking Illuminati are on it, man. Maybe they know the answer. Maybe I'm fighting for the wrong team. Illuminati, if you know me, get a hold of me. Show at blacksheeprising.org. Let me know. Let me see what you're.
We get the Illuminati funding through the Koch brothers, trying to. We hate poor people. Libertarians hate poor people, so that's how we're doing it.
And we want people to burn to death in their sleep.
Right. Yeah. Not 95% of the world's population. Yeah. No need. Let's just wipe them out.
That's what those guidestones say in Georgia.
That's right. That's what the whole fucking. Well, that's probably what the Denver airport's all
I pissed on the Georgia Guidestones, and I still don't believe the Denver airport conspiracy.
I sure have to piss right now. Can we take a break?
No.
Why? We're almost done?
I don't fucking know.
Let's take a break. Hey, guys.
All right, then I'll Google.
Exactly.
To figure out what exactly they mean.
Good point. We got some things to research. I don't have a song prepared for you, but I will put something here for us during the break. We'll see you guys in a couple of minutes. Hey, welcome back to Black Sheep Rising, Part 2. And
Part 2. This is just after the break.
Yeah, I know. After break, what did we figure out on this whole hip to waist ratio?
All right.
Darryl?
So the ratio, it's not what I thought. I thought you subtracted the waist from the hip. What you actually do is you divide the two numbers, and according to Wikipedia.org, the formula is waist divided by hip. So the smaller that number, then the lower the ratio.
Right, and so
So you had asked about Kim Kardashian,
who is a fuller woman than most. Well,
some people would. She's more voluptuous.
Right.
She is not full by any stretch of the imagination, because according to HealthyCeleb.com, Kim Kardashian's measurements are 34D, 26, 39. A full-figured woman would not have a 26-inch waist.
Right.
So 39 divided by
But when I say full,
26. Or wait.
Yeah, 26 on.
Hold on.
Hip is on top, right?
This is a lot.
Hip is on bottom.
I'm sorry, waist.
So
39 divided by 26.
39 divided by 26 would be, I don't feel like doing math, although, all right, so pulling up the calendar.
Calendar?
Oh, yeah. 1.5. Okay,
Hold on. No, that's not right. We did that wrong.
No,
Because it would be a number
hip is
under
on top.
1. No, hip is on bottom.
Mm-hmm.
So how do we clear this? 26 divided by.
I thought hip was on top. I just looked at it. All right, go back up. All right, before we actually give the
waist
answer.
divided by hip.
Okay, go back up. Okay, so yes, the answer is 0.6666 forever. 0.67.
That's the
Okay,
double.
all right, do me a favor. Look up Keira Knightley, her measurements. Don't you love Google? How the fuck are we getting these people's measurements?
Keira Knightley.
Why are
Very creepy guys.
Why aren't my measurements on there? I need to get on that.
32, 26, 34.
Make a Free Keen blog post.
So
26 divided by 34?
34
I'm sorry.
divided by 26. No, I did that backwards.
Why are we caring so much about this again?
We're not.
Homie asked me to do math, so
point
0.76.
So her measurements are actually, she's a higher.
She's a higher hip to waist ratio.
So
Whatever. We can tell if a bitch is hot or not.
Yes, we can. I mean, we don't need to know all this math, but that's what we do because we're fucking nerds.
This is ridiculous.
I'm trying to close the calculator.
I needed my drop.
All right, so a homie over here has this brilliant fucking idea to have 2 keyboards and 2 mouses.
Mice.
No, the plural of
Geese.
when you're talking about more than one
Look what
computer
Ron
mouse,
uses.
it is mouses.
When they're computer mice, it's mouses.
When they are more than one mouse for a computer, it is mouses.
I'm not buying it. All right, but
You've got 2.
What if it's a furry little rodent? Is it plural is mice, right?
Yes.
So why can't it be? Why do they have to be silly with the technology?
Don't know.
I'm sticking with mice. But anyways, why do I have
you've
2
got
mice?
Look, you said
2 of these.
Cat's coming in here.
Ooh.
For one computer because your other computer died, but you still have 314 fucking computer monitors.
And I'm looking to get another one. Black Friday. No, check this out.
Here it is.
So
You got the scoop, don't you?
well, I do,
got
but
the 10%
I do, but
discount.
I'm also working during. I'm sorry, and it's not Black Friday. It's Black Thursday.
Is that racist saying Black Friday? Because there's been a lot of incidents with people of color.
Not
You
here.
think they should change it?
Not here
It
in-
should be a campaign.
Not up north. There are no
What
black
you
people
trying
here.
to say? You saying Wal? Okay.
Do you know why there's not a lot of black people around here?
Because of the cold.
No. We actually pulled up figures, me and a couple other people.
Steve?
a couple of days ago. No, not Steve. And we found out that in New Hampshire, the prison population is a 9-to-1 ratio.
Admit you're stoned. How much pot are you smoking right now?
No, I'm not stoned.
No, I'm talking about the prison population.
Oh,
How many-
yeah, they probably are. 9-to-1.
Is what?
9 black people in New Hampshire prison for every white person
What?
in prison.
They're all living in prison. That's why. Cheaper housing.
Get the fuck out of here.
Yes.
I knew it was bad. That's fucking horrible.
Yes.
So you're saying that the reason there aren't more black people on the streets is because they're all in jail here in New England?
That's what statistics show.
Wait. All right. So who's been in
They're
the
fucking racist.
who has been? Yeah, I know exactly. Who's been in the Cheshire facility? Who can?
This isn't counting the county lockup numbers.
No, I mean
this is the numbers for the state prison.
No, I mean, can Ian or Derek or anyone say that we had?
They wouldn't
it was
know
that bad
because the county jail is not part of the New Hampshire prison system.
Gotta be like, okay, most felonies are apparently committed by blacks who can't afford good lawyers, maybe, or maybe it's
No,
more
I
whites
absolutely
up here.
know that there is an issue, and it
there
has
was
to
the
do.
study done not too long ago that black people in Cheshire County are 10 times more likely to get arrested for marijuana.
Right, but 10
Cheshire
times
County.
10 times more likely doesn't equal 9-to-1. That's like 90 times more likely. Right?
That would still be 10 times.
If
10 to 1.
If the ratio is 10-to-1, one white guy for every 9 black guys, then a black guy would be 90% more likely to get picked up for marijuana than a white guy.
Right. 90% is 10 times.
Okay, good.
You're confusing math terms over there.
Yeah, well, I'm drinking too. Hey,
and you're also trying not to be racist, which makes your brain work even less.
Oh, wow. That hurt, Daryl.
You need to get some minorities.
That
on the
fucking
show.
hurt. What I need to do is go find myself a nice black girlfriend and have some, and so I can talk racist stuff
You know,
and
there was
get
a
away
study
with
You
it.
have nice asses.
Black women are the least likely, like population designation to date a white man.
Yes.
I've noticed that.
I saw that study.
So it's always really, really. I haven't seen the study, but just in passing, it's always really refreshing to see
So somebody from
a black girlfriend or something on Facebook marrying a white guy. It's like, wow, that's something.
I think
that's something you don't,
What was
you don't
it?
see every
Plenty
day.
of Fish that did the study.
Something like that.
It was one of the dating websites to where they took statistical data of their users and compared if this person in this demographic made first contact, what is the percentage that somebody in another demographic would respond? And it came up that black women among pretty much every demographic
Right.
got responded to less, and white men were more picky in who they responded to when they were first contacted by the woman.
I will say this. I don't know about. Did it ask you? So it's dealing with attractiveness.
No, not attractiveness at all.
Just in dealings.
Demographic. Black man, white man, Hispanic, Asian. They had several different ethnicities.
Are you recording this now?
Should I be?
You need to tell me if you do.
Like, because then it'd be wiretapping.
Yeah.
Yes.
You're like double wiretapping.
I know. No, I will. I will say this. I haven't had that many enemies in my life, but the majority of my enemies have been black women.
Why?
I don't know. It just worked out that way, which is a chemical thing. It's just we just people in the people who we've worked coworkers.
Why did you piss off Oprah?
We just bump heads.
Why did you piss off Oprah?
She didn't give me that car. I was like the only guy in the audience who didn't have a car fucking key under
the iPod.
I didn't have the iPod or the car keys under my seat, and I got pissed off. And I was like, "Hey, look, Oprah, what's up?" It's like, well, you're a guy in my audience, and it's all women,
Get
and
the fuck
guys,
out, honky.
yeah, and you're a honky cracker, and we just don't, we don't roll like that. So I didn't get my car on my iPad,
Cracker.
and so I had an issue I brought it up. I said, look, I'm gonna tell everyone I ever meet that Oprah is a fucking racist, and you're gonna pay for it. So now I'm letting everyone out there know. No, I don't know. I don't.
Well, would you bang Oprah if she gave you $1 million?
I would be her little cracker baby. I would be her little cracker sex slave.
I don't know. Like in the past, 5 years, she's really I don't know. She used to be kind of hot before, but now
When?
She's like 60 or something. So she's
I know,
really.
but then she got a little old grandma looking in the past 5 years.
You know what? I haven't seen any recent pictures of her. Maybe someone can Google that real quick.
Pretty bad.
What's Oprah's hip to waist ratio?
Well, I think there's been.
12.
I think there's been so many over the years that it's really hard
Currently.
to. I don't think it's. Yeah, you can't keep up with it. It just changes all the time. I don't know.
Oprah.
Oh man, she's fucking hot, dude.
That's an old picture.
All right, that's not hot,
Oh, so yeah.
right? You mean this old drive?
Look at that. She turned to okay looking.
She reminds me of.
Oh, I hate
hold
the,
on.
Yeah,
go,
but I hate
go back
the
to
whole
the
80s
other
look.
picture.
It's horrible. Look at that.
No, not that picture. Go back to that first picture that you had pulled up.
The crazy no, that's not
No,
fair because no, it's a crazy picture. It doesn't count. She was looking crazy.
Right, but no, the one that he pointed to but didn't actually pull up. That one right there.
Yeah,
She does look like a grandma.
but she looks good. I mean, not,
If you've got a GILF complex,
Turn from this to that in 5 years.
no, it's just a.
Yeah, I think she had some shitty plastic surgery. Or maybe
hold
she paid
on.
a lot for it.
I think
and-
Conan's got a GILF complex.
What does the G stand for?
Grandma.
Are you serious? No, I absolutely don't. Maybe a
MILF is mother.
maybe a MILF. Yeah.
GILF is grandmother. GILF is great grandmother.
5 years, grandma. She got the facelift, stretching around
Yeah, and these are all Photoshop too. So
well.
Everything on the internet's Photoshop, motherfucker.
I don't Photoshop my stuff. My stuff is all real.
Oprah, you fucked your face up somehow.
God damn it, woman! You need to freeze your brain and wait till we can figure out this immortality thing and come back as some hot girl. Keira Knightley.
It's a nuclear question.
Yeah, dude. Oprah. I'll be your sex cracker. I swear to God. Get in that Keira Knightley body, and we'll be all right.
And then, what's the name of the dude that Oprah's with? He would come in and say, Oprah, what'd I tell you about eating crackers in bed?
Stedman?
Yeah, Stedman.
He's
What'd I tell you about eating crackers in bed, bitch?
I think she's been a big lesbian this entire time.
All right. So
Ooh, what if her and Hillary are secret lesbian lovers?
So if a gay
I would
guy
not watch that porn. I can say that. I've watched a lot of porn, but I would not watch that porn.
if a gay guy's fake girlfriend or wife is a beard, what is a dyke's fake husband?
Stedman.
Or a Stedman.
There you go.
From here on out, it's just that's got to go use the John.
Came off as a little fruity to me. I don't know about you.
I don't think I've ever seen him
Unless
on the.
he was into dominant women.
Is that Stedman right there on the couch?
I think that's Barack.
Or is that someone else?
That's probably the KKK side. No, is that Whoopi?
That's not Whoopi. That's somebody
just
wearing
horrible.
a pimp hat.
Why we? This is horrible podcast right here.
Oprah is 73 motherfucking years old.
Holy,
wow.
See, all right. See that picture I saw of her? That was probably the oldest one on the.
Oh, wait, no. It
There
says
ain't no juices
Oprah's
left in that
73-year-old mother, not Oprah is a 73-year-old mother. I read that wrong.
Oh, okay. So she's got to be like 60.
Reading comprehension failure.
Yeah, I think she's 60. Why are we guessing? We've got the internet.
I don't know. The fucking press the back button one more again.
59 years old, look.
1954.
Look at goddamn Google knows what the fuck we want.
No, but you see, yeah, I know. But I said it 60. I got it.
It's listen to the cameras.
Wow. Sometimes I will forget to turn those cameras off. I know that they're running all the time, but see, right now the lights are on.
Right.
I've woken up in here before, or come back in here in the morning and done some things, and then looked up and the cameras are all on. It's like, good God,
At least you're not streaming them.
How long have those things been? I'm I am not streaming them, but what is being relieved from me?
Right.
What video is?
The reason that I'd say at least you're not streaming because Ian from Free Talk Live,
They're always on.
it's not always on, but when it's on, it's always streaming. So there are times he will forget to turn the camera off.
Who is that? Who are you talking about?
You know exactly who I'm talking about.
Kind of push the balls around.
Ian Freeman?
Yeah.
That
So occasionally he will forget to turn the camera off.
Yeah,
Go down in his underwear and listen to K-pop, and people are watching this on the webcam. They're at lrn.fm at 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, I think it was like near midnight once. It's like, I wonder if he's jerking off at the computer there.
I hope he has his own. I hope he has his own personal computer upstairs that
He's got a laptop.
Okay, good. I hope he uses. I hope he uses his flap-top up at the
Crap top.
fap top. Is it flap or fap?
Crap top. Do you take your laptop into your bathroom?
I used to until I got this bad boy,
Yeah, that's
and
right.
and then
Yeah.
I used to read magazines.
2 handfuls.
I used to fucking read magazines. It's this. No, I love technology.
Who the fuck gets magazines anymore? Or who is it placed over in the bathroom?
You know, I'm thinking about. I used to get the Sentinel, Slantinel. I got like 3 months of it, and I used to stay on top of all this crap.
The Ministry of Truth paper.
I really don't like reading because I get angry when I read it so often. But I'm thinking about submitting my subscription with them.
It's so expensive.
It's like
Newspapers so expensive.
It's like $14 a month.
Right, but see, if he gets the subscription, then he can read all of the articles online, and he doesn't have to worry about the stupid 10 article per month limit.
Yeah, except I do that anyways.
You can comment.
That's why I clear my cookies every couple of days.
Cookies?
Cookies?
What kind of
C
cookies?
is for cookie, and cookie is
You
You
know what?
sound like the gay cookie monster.
The first time I noticed, I was coming to your place, Sesame Street.
Yeah, I know.
There's a fucking Sesame
And
Street.
it's the worst street out here. And all these, this whole
And
neighborhood
there's
is really,
a
really
crappy
nice.
playground on Sesame Street.
Yeah, it's not that bad, but this whole neighborhood is pretty nice, except Sesame Street. It's just fucking the houses are old. Fucking no one's taking care of the
Now
yards.
the fucking Sesame Street gang is going to come over and egg your fucking house because you talked bad about them.
Fuck them. They'll get over it. They don't care. They don't even. They're probably not the kind of people who watch TV.
Right,
And,
but no,
and if it is, it's all sports and
that's
Kardashians.
just the irony of the situation of, hey, you're a thug. Oh yeah, I'll show you how much of a thug I am. I'm gonna kick your fucking ass.
Yeah, it's kind of like that Travis character.
It's like, wait, you're proving my point.
Who now has apparently several warrants out for his arrest for criminal threatening.
For any of that or from other things.
Well, who knows, but at least for that.
Very curious. Yeah, he's a big old thug.
All right, hold on. I'm curious here.
Walking around the streets looking for Robin Hood.
On the Google search for Oprah old, right up under it says Oprah Winfrey, 59 years, born January 29th, 1954. There's a picture of Barack Obama and says Barack Obama, 52 years. Forrest Whitaker, 52 years. Ellen DeGeneres, 55. Does Google think that we were trying to figure out how old any of those three people are?
Of course, because they're black.
Well, keep in mind that this
Ellen's not fucking
Yes,
black.
he is.
Wait, stop. Keep in mind that this is my Google setup. I just learned today that there's a way to set up a private page, turn all your cookies off,
Right.
And I'm going to try that and see if that's how my browsing experience changes, because this is set up to my login.
It models
Right.
your search after.
And for some reason, Ellen DeGeneres is
to grab her ass.
I don't know. I was trying
She's
to
a lesbian. You don't grab her ass, except other lesbians.
I would be Ellen's sex cracker if she wanted me to. I wouldn't
She's
have any.
white.
I know. Well, it doesn't matter. She can still call me her cracker if she wants. She can call me her beard if she wants.
The fuck does that mean again?
A beard is something that a gay man calls, or the gay population calls anyone who uses a fake girlfriend or wife to hide behind. So, for example, all those years, who's the piano player? Rocket Man. Elton John had a wife who was his beard.
Elton John had a wife?
Yeah. I think they might even still be married. I don't know. But anyways,
No, because Elton married the dude that co-wrote all the music with
Okay,
him.
but for the longest time he was gay, and he was just hiding behind his.
I didn't know that Elton John ever supposedly had a female in
What?
his life.
He did, and they call that a beard. All right, so now my question is, what do you call it if it's in the opposite?
I just looked it up. Apparently, it's the same word, no matter what.
A beard.
Yep.
I'm changing it to Stedman.
I mean, it works either way, right?
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I guess it.
I am going to the Wikipedia. Where the
I guess
hell
it depends
did
on
mouse
what a
go?
beard is. I mean, I know how it's being used, but what does it signify? Is it a beard on your chin? Is it a pubic beard? Is it like a?
It's just like concealing your whatever.
Yeah, so you're hiding behind your Guy Fawkes mask.
My baby face.
Yeah. Do you hide behind your baby face?
I guess the beard's working.
When you go up to the counter in the store, do you get more smiles than
I do now
than I
with the
probably do
beard.
because I don't smile as much?
Well, it's the beard. Chicks dig the beard.
Oh,
Facial
but we
hair.
both have beards, though. Kind of. Well, I guess if you can call this thing a beard, it's not really. We both kind of have little scraggy little things going. Yours at least is fuller than mine, but
Okay, so for 3 years, Elton John was married to his sound engineer, Renee Bleu.
go back and said why it dissolved. Their marriage was dissolved on 18 November 1988 when John said he could no longer deny his sexual orientation. So the question is, did he already know about it when he hooked up with her?
Well, it
Or-
says
or-
here that he admitted his bisexuality
when.
as a compromise.
Yeah, but when did he
They
figure?
were married in 1984.
But when did he know that he was gay?
Sometime after 1984 and 1988.
So the question is, did she make him gay? Was she one of those gay makers?
Maybe he was bi and then
No.
decided
It's saying that he was gay. He just it was.
he
just
claimed bisexuality as a compromise because the world wasn't ready for a gay man, I guess. We're not ready for something this fabulous.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
All right, there, have your mouse back.
No, not Jesus. Elton John.
Anyways, you were talking about why we were fighting over the mouse. My computer died. I was running the browser
Yeah,
on
we
one
already
computer.
discussed this.
And well, I haven't discussed why. I haven't talked about why we're sharing a mouse and why I can't have two mice. Two mice.
Mouses.
Fuck you. And the reason is because
You
that's
could fuck me with Keira Knightley.
that's the way. Am I holding her like with a dildo? That's disgusting. Why are you taking this? Anyways. Oh fuck.
You need to install a virtual machine on this one monitor. Then you can have two separate.
If I had two operating systems on this
have to
system,
have
virtual machine.
It's free. I forget what it's called. I can send you a link.
okay, do that.
Virtual machine.
So
Daryl can watch his own porn.
okay,
So-
question: how much resources does that virtual machine use?
Not really. You can dedicate how many processor cores you want.
Which is the reason why I don't want to do two operating systems because they'll suck down too many resources, and I already have too much stuff that are sucking down what I already have.
You can dial in how much resources it'll use.
Send me that link, man, or I'll send you a link to remind me to send me that link. And
What are you going to send him a link of?
a question or a reminder.
That's not a link.
A reminder.
That's a question.
It's a reminder to my link. It's a link to my reminder.
Your brain stopped functioning
No, it's
because you're thinking of our female viewer.
I don't know why you only think that I have one female viewer. I've got to have more than that. I'm a pretty hot dude. I got the whole Legends of Fall going on, man.
I'm sure you
What
have.
the fuck does that mean?
Fucking Legends of Fall, man. Brad Pitt.
Who the fuck has cable anymore?
A bunch of old people.
Old people.
That's what I mean. So you're like they're like excluded from the internet. This is why you have to get the phone line.
I know. It's just.
This is why I think he's got a gilf complex.
Oh.
You think I'm feeding the gilfs?
Oh.
I'm feeding all the grandmas. You think this whole show is to get gilf?
Yeah.
You're stupid, man. That's not how it works. That's not how it works.
You're the one that said that you would be Oprah's cracker toy.
Because she's got money. It's not because of her. I just want the money.
She's not going to pay you money to be her cracker.
She's gonna eat you all up.
It depends on how good I am.
She ain't going to pay for it.
she's not necessarily paying for it. I'm just kind of lagging around. I'm just kind of there. I'm just kind of.
She ain't gonna pay you for it.
She's gonna support me.
The fuck she is?
Hey, she's got so much money. She's probably already got a half dozen cracker slaves.
I would.
She probably got them just out there, and she probably got one for each day of the week.
Come on, Cracker, sop up my juices.
She's like, all right, you.
I win.
Hey! I got a drop for that.
But now the forbidden fruit must be tasted.
No!
Just hold your nose, man.
No!
Just hold your nose and go on down. Get her
No.
done. Get her done. No. Oh, you're so loud.
Muff diving.
Why are you so loud?
Stop yelling at me!
Stop saying disgusting things.
All right. Do we got any other stories we want to
Like
talk about?
crawling up inside Oprah's uterus and
Do we have any? All right. No.
playing with her
Facebooks.
ovaries.
We got those Obama ads.
Yeah, that's.
We-
I still think that those are fucking fake. I know that a news story says they're not, but
They're outrageous. And the first time I saw them, I was like, "These are fake. Someone made these up."
Why aren't black people in this ad?
Because they're not going to. None of them are ever going to buy insurance. Well, they're voters though. But yeah, I don't know. But yeah, listen to this. So you've got an attractive woman standing with a player, and she's
she's standing with a fucking hipster.
he's a player hipster,
Post collegiate Americans, both working on their careers.
and she's got an open packet of birth control, and the question is, got insurance? And
It's saying if you're a slut, you need insurance. That's what it's saying. If you're gonna fuck these hot guys and have look what it's really saying. If this is real, if you're gonna be a slut, make sure you have insurance because you never know if anything might happen.
well, what they're really saying is, if you have insurance, you get free birth control to be a slut.
Well, come on. How much is birth control costing you? $300 a month.
How many people are really buying birth control anyways? How many people are already getting it covered or whatever? I don't know.
It's got to be extremely cheap. I don't know how much it costs. I don't take birth control.
It can't be that. Well, I know that condoms are expensive in my book. What are they, like fucking 50 cents a pop or something?
Walmart?
Anywhere. What are Trojans these days?
Well, I buy
They're horribly expensive.
Oh, come on. 50 cents? 50 cents per bang?
So 3 a night?
It depends on how you
yeah,
break.
exactly. It's how many you use in a night. I mean, they get used up real quick. Before you know it, it's like, well, yeah, it's just let's watch some Netflix. I can't afford to have sex at night.
Wow.
Or let's just get over this whole condom thing. That would be more up my trail of tears.
So
That
get
requires,
the vasectomy.
patience.
I'm not ready for that yet.
Get the snippy snip.
I'm not ready for that because I'm still. We're going full circle back to this natural selection thing. I want to have more
He needs
kids.
the progeny.
I need
He
more.
already got one. He's
And I'm about to lose her. She's about to go out in her merry way. So I need more kids to run the fields, man. When the shit hits the fan, I need more.
And the chicken.
I need more woodcutters, chicken farmers, people out in the.
So you want fucking indentured servants?
That's what kids are for. Duh.
Changed for your creation.
That's right. They can live under my roof as long as they help out.
Wow.
I'm not gonna.
And when they hit puberty, they almost have the choice.
I'm not gonna love them any more than my kids my Mexicans down in the basement. I love them. I take good care of them.
Wow.
I give them Thanksgiving off.
Wow.
Daryl, you just don't know. You just need to have kids, and you'll realize where I'm coming from.
He does have a child.
I've got
he's
one
got-
long story. I don't want to fucking talk about it.
Oh, I thought you were talking about your.
It's not a tumor.
I'm sorry. I went in that direction. The tumor. Your little child. Your little. Or you know what? Your brother. Your half brother who is in your womb, is in your stomach. Who never came.
It's on this side.
Who never came to fruition.
There actually is some little bump on my fucking stomach that's been there forever.
Did you ever get it X-rayed?
Do you have dreams?
No.
Where your bump?
Why not?
Do you have dreams where your little bump like rips out of your body and it's It's
and
you,
then
but it's
start
little,
singing, "Hello, my darling. Hello, my lover. Hello, my good time pal." No.
So, anyways, the crust of all these ads, if you're listening to this, you just stop what you're doing and just check them out. They are outrageous.
Hold on. So let's go to doyougotinsurance.com, which is the website that this references.
Is there a link?
Yeah, you fucking type it. Control
a
T.
link as in something I can click on. I don't have hands.
The fuck you don't have hands? You got two of them.
I only have one hand. All right, hold on. You stay there, and I'll use this hand and use that hand. I don't like typing one hand. That's how my daughter types.
What is your daughter doing?
I don't.
What is she doing home?
No. What is she doing? Only typing with one hand.
Oh, that was just gnarly. That was gnarly, Jay.
About. Got Insurance is a project of the Thanks Obamacare campaign.
Created by the Colorado Consumer Health Initiative and your thing is in
They
the way.
sound like
and,
troll organizations
and progressive
I would create.
and Progress Now Colorado Education to educate everyone about the benefits of the Affordable Care Act. All right,
These are not being put out by the federal government.
This is Coke money,
which is
trolling.
as some people have claimed.
Yeah, it's probably Coke money. The whole thing
So
is
when you Google Thanks Obamacare, thanksobamacare.org, 10 reasons to thank Obamacare. Congress will have the same health care as the rest of us. People under 26 can stay on their parents' health insurance. Insurers must justify rate hikes. No discrimination on coverage based on gender. Insurance can't kick sick people off coverage. Chain restaurants must post calorie content.
Did you see that? Did you see like the new McDonald's stuff now? 560 calories for that McDouble.
So hold on.
Is that bad?
I don't know. It's a lot of nutrition for the buck, don't you think?
I don't know if
straight it is.
the restaurant posting calorie content has anything to do with the Affordable Care Act.
I thought they were already doing that.
They had already had that mandate before Obamacare ever passed.
It might not
Really?
be. It might not
I
be
thought it
hanging on their
started
wall.
when the Affordable Care Act was passed.
It might not be hanging on their wall in the store, but you can always get it online.
It's on the outside menu now. It's
In-
on
in
all the
Tennessee,
menus.
I saw it on the wall.
It started in California, and then a couple of other states went to it, and so they decided it's cheaper to just have the info on all of the stuff that we send to all of the
I
stores.
thought it was a federal thing, but I guess we'll look it up.
Yeah, and I'm fairly certain that the federal thing began well before the Obamacare. It might be once again codified in there, but that started well before Obamacare. But, all right, so number 7, no denial of coverage based on pre-existing conditions. No copays for birth control, breast pumps, and domestic violence screening. No annual or lifetime dollar limits on needed care. Small businesses get tax credits to help provide insurance to their workers.
Is abortions birth control?
Good question.
Possibly.
It's definitely birth
Let's
control.
read the fine print at the bottom. Progress Now Colorado Education and the Colorado Consumer Health Initiative. Opinions aggregated here from external sources are theirs alone and do not reflect the opinions of CCHI, Progress Now, or any employee, officer, or director thereof. Blah, 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 blah.
So, who can say? It could be fake. It could be a Koch brothers thing. It could be actually legit.
Right, but the way I've heard people talk about this of these aren't satire is in the context of the federal government is putting these out. And that's not what this is.
Yeah, it's most definitely. I don't think that they're that stupid. The federal government. They are inefficient and they are stupid, but I don't think they would have done that. They just break websites or don't build them properly from the get-go. But I think that there are, liberal types out there who are so warped that they do find something like that to be a good idea, and they think that if they spread those images and those ideas, that I don't know, it'll get them publicity, it'll get them more votes. I mean, maybe it's not. See, there's no black people in that picture, but maybe it is targeted to, say, people who want Obama phones. And when you consider the actual voters in this country, why would you put black people on there anyways? Because they're only, what, 20% of the vote? Or 20% of the population? How much of the vote?
All right, so Jay pulled up a thing here from factcheck.org, and it says the Colorado Exchange, overseen by Connect for Health Colorado, did not produce or finance the ads. However, in fact, the ad campaign is a joint project of two nonprofits, and they're the ones that we had mentioned, the Colorado Consumer Health Initiative and Progress Now. And I don't see any info on those two organizations.
But I mean, so what I was getting to is, do you think these ads are working? I mean, they pissed the hell out of us.
Define working.
People being more comfortable with the idea of Obamacare. Oh, free birth control? Oh, well, yeah, because I'm having to pay whatever I'm having to pay, but no co-pays for birth control. I love that.
They got to bribe the people who aren't really getting sick into paying into the system, right?
And that's why they're all young, college-looking guys. So, and those are the people who don't pay for health insurance, like I don't, and I don't think that I should, because I would only want something like universal or a catastrophic.
Yeah. I don't know what the point of these ads actually is, because it's not being put out by the health cooperative. It's not taxpayer funded.
Oh yeah, but what do you? Yeah, but
it could be satire.
From the visuals, what do you think they're trying to accomplish? If they were trying,
I think they're trying to accomplish, hey, let's put out something as satire and see how many people think it's real.
So you don't think it's real?
No. Well, it's real in that it's a graphic that someone put online.
You don't think that it's a positive image of, well, it's most definitely not a positive image of health of Obamacare, but you don't think that
I don't think that the people putting this out were doing it for the purpose of being serious. The fact check page also says that a Republican representative from Texas shared a Got Insurance ad via Twitter that says this is an actual taxpayer-funded Obamacare ad, when in fact the ads are not taxpayer-funded.
Okay, so
they're being put out by two nonprofit groups.
Right. So what we really need to figure out is, I don't know where to take from here. How do you figure out who these guys are, and where they're getting their money from?
They say that they are not getting any taxpayer funding, that they are private foundations.
Yeah, no, but what private foundations are giving the money to?
Koch brothers.
Koch brothers. So I mean, if that's the case, then yes,
You're purely speculating.
I know, but I mean, if that was to be the case, then yes, we know
maybe they're
why
getting
these ads
money from some street artist that is like, hey, let's put something together.
You just put money and artist in the same sentence, and that doesn't work. Unless they're, rich. There
are some fairly well-off artists
sell their work to establishments, like the government.
They would be like the guy in New York City, the street artist Essam, who went around with the anti-police department, anti-drone posters.
Where was that?
New York City!
Yes, New York City.
What about that stockbroker guy, that Banksy?
Yeah.
Person?
Banksy. Yeah, where's he at right now? He's in New York right now.
I think he finished his 30-day residency in New York.
Has anyone compiled a?
He was doing.
I've only seen one.
He was doing videos and whatnot the entire time he was there.
But I've only seen one of the pictures he did, and it was the two towers on a little park bench. Right there at a view of where the two towers used to stand, and that's the only image I've seen from.
I didn't see that one. I saw the one where he had the truck full of stuffed animals driving around, and he had people doing the puppets of the stuffed animals, making them make noises and whatnot. But No, I'm just saying maybe this is some kind of, performance art type of thing.
Right.
Maybe it is Koch brothers funded. Maybe they're getting their funding straight from George Soros and the Illuminati. Maybe fucking reptilians made these things. Maybe Barack Obama himself made these posters and just created the organizations Colorado Consumer Health Initiative and Progress Now Colorado, and Adam Fox, the director of CCHI, doesn't really exist.
It's the Clockwork Elves.
Maybe Alex Jones made this
The
up.
Clockwork
Who
Elves,
the
all
fuck
of it. I
knows?
shouldn't even get into it.
Hey, you know what?
It's not fucking. It's not government funded propaganda like some people are saying.
Yeah, but how many of these private organizations do in fact receive funding, taxpayer funds, in some other way? So,
Well, the fact that they are non-profit and people are allowed to write off donations, some people would interpret to be they're receiving taxpayer funding.
right. So
The very fact that they exist, some people would say, see, you're breathing air, and that means you're getting government funding, because without the government, fucking Pepsi Cola would pollute the world and you'd all die.
No, you can say that some church that doesn't have to pay taxes, which is tax exempt, that sets up their own campaign, their own ads or whatnot. They're nonprofit, but they have a bias, they have an agenda, and so they are receiving money in some way, in some form, by not
being
having
stolen from. See, there you're using the fucking state argument against people.
Yeah, but it's still an argument that you can't.
It's an invalid argument.
But you can't trust this whole nonprofit thing, because they might be receiving all kinds of money, but they're not receiving money to actually pay for these ads. But they're receiving it some way or another. They might be getting a bailout. They might be getting some employment.
So by
monies
not being stolen from,
no, I'm talking no. Yet they're not paying taxes, but they might be getting.
That's what nonprofit means.
But they might be getting a bailout to help them recover through these hard economic times that we are living in.
That would be government funding.
But do they have to say that they received a bailout when they say that they did this ad? Because the money wasn't going to this ad.
CCHI did receive a $25,000 grant from the Connect from Health Colorado, but the money was earmarked to partially fund the organization's design of a mapping tool for the uninsured to help the uninsured navigate the application process for insurance.
See?
So they got some kind of money.
They got some money. They got some help. It wasn't for these ads, but they did end up spending some money on these ads. So,
Okay,
that's all I'm saying.
I had jury duty a couple of months ago, and I got $20 for a day of jury duty.
Would you convict Daryl?
I wasn't actually selected for a jury
Why not?
because they did not select me. Like, I don't fucking know why.
Did you get void warrant?
Did I get what?
Did you get called up?
Yes. And I was in the pool of 21 people that, they'll have 21 people in a pool and then select 14 for the jury, and I wasn't selected.
You went to the pool party.
They didn't give reasons as far as why, but the thing is, I got $20 for being on jury duty for a day. Does that then mean that whatever I wound up spending that $20 on, I have to write it down and say, oh yeah, I spent government money on lunch and about 3 gallons of gas.
Every time you say anything publicly, especially if it's against the government, you have to also include in there a little disclaimer at the bottom. But yes, and I also received $20 from the government last week.
It wasn't last week.
So yes,
it was a couple of months ago. But I'm just asking because
when you're
the one saying, oh, this group, see, they did this one time get a grant from this group that got money from the government, so therefore they're using government money to put out this government stuff.
I'm not saying that they should have a disclaimer saying that they received this money on every one of their ads. I'm saying they should not fucking receive any money from anybody ever, and you shouldn't either. Your $20 of compensation. But yeah, for example, you were saying when should you actually talk about it? So yeah, when you're running for mayor, you should say, oh, and by the way, I would like to remove all these departments from the government and do all this and that. And by the way, I received $20 from government last week.
Why didn't you refuse that money, Daryl? You stole from the taxpayers, you motherfucker.
You should have done. It would have been great. You could have gone up Central Square. You could have gone up on that podium. You could have had the check with your lighter, and we could have videotaped the whole thing, and you could have been like, you know what? Here's what I think about your fucking $20, and burned it.
You could be like the Joker in the original Batman, just throw money out.
No, but
that would have been great.
I'm just trying to figure out, because it seems as though you're wanting to use the arguments of those that love the state against people.
No, I'm not. No, I'm trying to say.
You're saying that
look at
nonprofit organizations receive benefits from the government because they're not being taxed.
No,
and the fact that they are not taxed is a benefit.
No,
That's what you said.
No, I'm trying to make the argument as, look where the money is really going to. So you have essentially given these guys a break, but look what they're really spending their money on. Government propaganda. So stop giving anybody a break. Balance it out completely, which is give everyone a break, which is where I want to go. I want everyone to have a break.
So you want everybody to be nonprofit.
Yeah.
Then quit bitching about people that are nonprofit.
And you can spend your money on anything you want. Whatever propaganda you want.
When I hear people bitch about nonprofit entities being nonprofit and not having to pay tax, what I hear in the back of my head is they should be stolen from too.
Yeah, but why you think that I'm not on that same boat? Of course I want everyone to be nonprofit.
Because you're using the fucking argument of those that love the state.
Did you understand what the direction I was going?
I'm not paying attention to your petty argument.
I was trying to allude to this.
Then fucking say it. Don't allude to things.
Hey, you know I'm not so good with my words. Sometimes I have to think about them. Do you realize I do more talking on this show than I do in the entire week? Probably a couple weeks combined. So here I am. I'm at work, listening to my podcasts and listening to my audiobooks and all, and I don't fucking talk to anybody. And so my lips just don't work. My vocabulary isn't as advanced as some. Mr.
All right.
Mr. Daryl, fucking radio
Jay,
man.
What did you learn tonight?
Jesus Christ. This fucking show.
I learned that
this show will be the death of me. What? I'm sorry.
I learned that the cat actually likes me.
But what do we do to get the cat in the room?
Apparently, I slaughtered turkeys today or something.
Wait. What did we do to get the cat out of the box?
We got rid of the fucking dog.
Yes. That's what did it. And he heard his name and he came. Stupid, stupid dog.
So, Conan, what did you learn?
I thought I had learned something that you didn't know about me. Or maybe you learned that.
I learned something about you, but I've already forgotten it.
And I forgot whatever.
Oh, I remember the thing now, so tell me what you learned.
No, go ahead and tell me so I can think about it some more.
I learned that you're a gamer.
You didn't fucking know that?
No, I didn't know that.
How do you
I just thought you were a computer nerd that had 500 fucking computer monitors.
He's a gamer with a beard.
What are you pulling up on the screen
with a libertarian beard? No, I was just gonna anyway.
No balls, dog.
No, I'm a regular gamer, and I'm not just one who used to be one when I was a kid, and have since left that in the dust.
So, what games do you play?
Right now, I play everything, but right now I'm playing XCOM.
Oh, okay. So you play Mario Kart and like NC2A football.
I do not play sports. I do not play baby games. So no, I don't play Mario or sports. These are probably the games that you like, right?
Super Mario Brothers.
Mario Kart is fucking retarded.
I prefer role-playing games. I prefer
so like first person.
But you have different types of role-playing. So I prefer first-person fantasy role-playing games. So Skyrim was definitely one of the ones that was on my list. But I also played Deus Ex, which is a sci-fi.
Xenoblade Warrior.
No, which was definitely a sci-fi first-person
World of Warcraft.
I played the shit out of some Warcraft. I got many.
No, not Warcraft.
World of Warcraft.
World of Warcraft.
I played the shit out of both of them.
Doom.
Not as much, but yes, when I was a young man
Grand
in high
Theft
school,
Auto.
not as much.
Warcraft on DOS.
Most of the games that I play, you've never heard of. Shut up, dog.
Leisure Suit Larry.
Oh yeah, I remember that when I was like
I skipped
7
it.
years old.
Skipped it completely.
Okay, so what'd you learn tonight?
I was supposed to be thinking about that, and you asked me all these other questions, and so I don't even know where we're going.
We were going to what did you learn tonight?
God, I hate this question.
You've had 2 fucking hours.
You know how much I hate this question.
2 fucking hours.
I think it's actually been longer than that. I think we're in a 2.5, maybe close to 3.
We're about 2.5. It was like 8:45 when we
Some
started.
half fucks, so you'll just have to edit them.
Can someone give me some hints? All right, what are we talking about? We talked about the women are
Men
more.
get dumber when they are around women, and you wanted to figure out what secret superpowers men had.
Yeah, I already knew
but
all
that
that.
wasn't part of the study.
I knew that. All right, so the next one was women are just as aggressive as men, but I already knew that.
Then we
looked at
Googled hip to
Oprah.
waist ratio.
Okay, I learned about hip to waist ratio. I learned that the Kardashian girl actually has a lower hip to waist ratio than my girlfriend, Keira Knightley. I'll have her babies any day. I also learned that
Keira Knightley she's got a pretty face, but she's a fucking twig.
no, I don't know what planet you're coming from. No,
She is twiggy.
no, she's not Twiggy. Anyways,
Twiggy is Twiggy.
I also learned that Oprah
Well, what about
is-
the girl from Hunger Games? What's her hip to waist ratio?
I don't know,
She
but
is pretty
I don't know, but she's a big girl. Well, not a big, but she's
They claim that she's a big girl.
she's a natural girl. She's natural. She's someone you would find on the street. And I can't,
Whoa! Did you just call Jennifer Lawrence a
a
prostitute?
prostitute, a woman of the night, a streetwalker.
Yes.
I most definitely did not. What is the name of the Hunger Girls name? Hunger Girls girl.
Jennifer Lawrence, I believe.
All right, someone talk while I'm looking this up.
It was very disappointing to learn she had cut her hair short.
It's the second one.
Look at this Google amazing technology. You spelled it wrong.
Measurements.
Is that a nude picture of her?
34. No, that's not nude.
She's wearing the skin colored outfit. That's very
34, 26, 36.
Okay. So the first one divided by the second.
Yes.
34 divided by 26. Say it
No,
again.
26 divided by 36.
36. That's a big old hips. All right, so she's about the same as Keira Knightley.
She's slightly less than Keira Knightley.
Mm-hmm.
Keira Knightley
And-
was 0.76, I believe.
According to these measurements that we got off of just Googling real fast, and of course, who is fluctuating, like Oprah, they're fluctuating all the time. So as long as these women are maintaining, Kardashian does not maintain the same weight. She's always
Jennifer
fluctuating.
Lawrence, I think, has lost weight too, unfortunately.
So there's no telling what's going on. Keira has maintained her weight throughout all these
So
years. She's been
34, 26, 36 is considered fat in Hollywood.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you know what? You have so many of these people stepping forward, and they're all like, you need to be comfortable with your weight, and you need to get off this whole skinny bandwagon that you guys are on. But who do they fucking keep putting on the TV all the time? Even
Fat woman wanted to be skinny. They just don't want to put the effort in.
even Kardashian doesn't have her own show, or kind of she did, but
Yes,
she
does.
doesn't have her own. She's not in movies. Even Paris Hilton was in movies.
She was in a movie. So America Ferrera, also known as Ugly Betty, is still 36, 28, 39.
28 divided by 39. See, she's even less than. Well, she's about the same as Keira.
No, she's slightly less than
The same. It's
Jennifer Lawrence.
It's almost the same.
0.71 and 0.76 are two totally different numbers.
Is that what Keira Knightley was?
Yes.
7'6"? Oh, I'm sorry. I thought it was 7'1" something.
No, she was 7'6".
So she's about the same as Jennifer Lawrence, and that makes sense.
Yeah.
They do kind of seem similar in body structure.
But she is in no way fat. She's fucking average.
By Hollywood standards, she is. And I couldn't pick her up either. So in my standards, she's overweight.
She looks solid.
She looks like she could pick me up.
She's sturdy.
She could
Those are
probably
some power thighs.
she could probably fireman my ass in a heartbeat, run me around, do circles with me on her, and then throw me.
I've got a fucking bad knee, and I could pick her up.
But I didn't say that I couldn't pick her up. I said I couldn't pick her up comfortably. Repeatedly.
I've got a bad knee, and I could pick her up comfortably.
Repeatedly.
Yes.
Over and over and over and over again.
Over and over, but I don't know about the third or the fourth.
That's all I'm saying, man. That's all I'm saying. So anyways, I learned that hip to waist ratio. I learned that Oprah is 59 years old and that
I also learned that Conan's got a GILF complex.
and that I don't have a GILF complex.
No, you do.
And I don't have a complex. I do admire
Good GILF.
I admire good-looking women's.
Good
I
gilf.
especially admire good-looking women who are older because they've
Good gilf.
because they've been able to maintain
Good
those
GILF.
characteristics for many, many, many years, and they didn't just fucking get out of high school.
How many more G's can I add on here?
They didn't just get out of high school, have a kid, and just fucking lose it. Just turn into
G-MILF.
turn into Boo Boo's mom. What's the Boo Boo girl?
Honey Boo Boo's mother.
What's her name? Does she have a name?
Her name is Honey Boo Boo's mother.
That's what I mean. I was thinking about the other day, and she's got to have a real name. But anyways, yeah.
Honey Boo Boo's mother.
You know that she just, well, she probably was always like that. But yeah, I have a deep respect for women who maintain their qualities.
Hold on. So where did you find that it's G-MILF and not GILF? Because Pornhub.com says it's GILF.
Daryl, what you been looking at?
I know, man. No wonder you've got such good.
Look at that look on his face.
No wonder you got.
No comment.
No wonder you got such good skills, one hand typing. Unbelievable.
No comment.
Unbelievable. See, that's what I learned tonight. So, yeah. Let's wrap this bitch up.
If you're a GILF, contact Conan.
Show at blacksheeprising.org. You gotta be shapely. You gotta be all right.
And if you don't have the computer box in your living room, go to the library and contact.
I especially like
Conan.
Gills that game, but how many of those are there out there?
Parcheesi,
That's our two
Bridge.
female listeners. They're both GILFs that are gamers.
Gin Rummy,
Not those. Not
Good
not
Gilf.
card games.
Pinochle.
If you play WoW, that's all right with me. You can do that. I mean, even though I
Pinball.
don't get into that nonsense.
Oh, they can
Mortal
wow you with
Kombat.
the gum job.
You're a dirty old man.
You have been looking at the guild
You're a
porn,
dirty
haven't you?
old man. And why do you keep interrupting me? God damn it, you
That's what I do.
Daryl, you suck.
You're welcome.
The main website can be
Clitoris.
found at blacksheeprising.org. Go there to find all the previous episodes and the show notes. And I don't know how many people are understanding to the fact that fuck. Ugh.
You're thinking of our GILFs again,
No,
and your brain's not functioning.
It's not my brain, it's my throat. I don't know how people know that this is an audio. We also have an audio presentation so that if you are unable to watch the show like I am unable to, because you're working all the time and you are driving all the time, this is also a podcast. You know, get on Stitcher, get on iTunes, or you can manually download it from blacksheeprising.org. I've set that up for you guys who cannot watch this long-ass, silly show. It's just for you. Go to our Facebook page, too, while you're at it, because you know what? The more people who get on there and let me know that the show is actually reaching you, the happier I am, because I'm a little, I have low self-esteem sometimes.
How many fans does this show have?
We don't have a whole lot of likes. We've got like 40 likes, but I have met more people who actually watch the show than those 40. So if you're watching this show and you haven't already liked this motherfucker, you need to stop what you're doing and go like it, because I have low self-esteem.
Stop telling people what to do.
You need to, like, give out some gift
I'm not
going to
beg you. What's that?
You need to give out some gift cards or something for people contacting you. Like $5 for Walmart or something like that.
I'll say your name on everyone who likes this Facebook page. I'll say your name on air. How about that?
Ooh, yes.
No, they probably won't like that because we're saying it on. Everyone's gonna be able to see that. Yeah, but you're on Facebook. Everyone can see it
You
anyways.
need to have contests.
Be like Bill Smith
I don't
from
know.
Aurora, Illinois, liked us last week. Mad props. Now go fuck yourself. Because we've got to do it in Black Sheep Rising style.
Yeah. You're right. But I mean, I really do enjoy when people ask questions on the YouTubes or the Facebook,
All of
or
the YouTube
or the email,
and all of the Facebooks.
I mean, leave whatever questions you have there, and I'll read it online, and we'll try to get those questions answered. Even though we're not the smartest on the well, Daryl's pretty smart, but I
am.
I don't do so well sometimes, especially when I'm thinking about
I
booties.
consume alcohol during the show to sort of bring myself down
To my
bit.
level. You're fucking horrible. I hate you.
I'm the Rush Limbaugh of the show. Half my brain tied behind my back just to make
We
it
need to do a
fair.
show every time we say fuck, we do a shot.
Ooh, that would be a nasty, nasty show.
Then we're going to die of fucking liver disease.
It'll be fun death.
That'll be the 45-minute show.
45 minute. I'd say fuck 45 times before 5 minutes in. We should get Chris fucking Cantwell on the show and take a shot every time he says shoot Gabby Giffords.
No, good point. Good point. So one shot for every 10 fucks. How about that?
We'll lose count.
Yeah. So
sounds like a gangbang.
What we really need is a show
as long
manager.
As Miley Cyrus is part of the gangbang.
What we really need is what the fuck is that with Miley Cyrus?
Good marketing.
You just liked it when she shaved her head. What we need is a
She could
manager
ride me like that wrecking ball is all
who
I'm
can do
saying.
who can do the drops for me and who can do the button pushing, and it can also count the fucks.
And they'll also have to push the balls around.
How many
And
fucks
the
is
push.
it, Jake?
I don't know, and to push the balls around.
Kind of push the balls around.
So, anyways, we're going to leave you guys this evening on an old song by Aphex Twin.
I don't even think that's an actual thing.
It's an actual thing. It's an actual word. It's an actual band.
No, it's none of those.
And
you had it pulled up in a window over there.
It was. I don't know what that turned into, but oh yeah. But this is Aphex Twin. The song is called the Girl Boy Song, and Aphex Twin is kind of an acid tech kind of a thing. Acid pop. I can't remember what they actually call it, but it's very interesting music, and sometimes it can get outrageous. But this is a very nice song. Someone's beeping or buzzing or something.
That's you.
But Jay, thanks for being on.
Thank you, sir.
Got to have you on more often. You're a good guest, panelist.
I need more drinks, too. I didn't get drunk enough.
You didn't get drunk enough. Yes, we needed the shot thing. Why'd you fucking say anything? I got a whole freezer full, dude.
Of what?
Of everything. Vodka, brandy, and you still got some
You
rum on
could
the
have also
I
got
thought you-
an Angry Orchard Sinful Apple.
Don't drink those. Are like 3% alcohol. You got rum on the top of the refrigerator, dude.
All right.
But
Time.
Daryl, thanks for coming on and being your crazy self.
Yep, I'm trying to figure out the alcohol.
Yeah, it's not going to say. If it's lower than like 4%, then they're going to tell you.
Yeah, they
I'm
will.
going to four Loco, and it's 5.9%. I'm like
5%.
Is it
How am
real?
I supposed to die by drinking that?
5.
Where did you? I
5%.
thought they weren't allowed to say those anymore.
Well, they can't
Sell
put,
those
They can't
anymore.
put the caffeine in it anymore.
Oh, okay.
See,
okay.
that's why people were dying is the caffeine and the alcohols.
Right.
Yeah, those
One
crazy
person
people.
drank like 20 of them.
Yeah.
It wasn't the alcohol.
Crazy,
It was all the
crazy people.
crack they smoked after drinking Four Loko.
All right, let's wrap this up. Hey, you at home, we love
I
you.
wonder if you could.
We wanna see
soak
more
your
of you.
crack in Four Loko.
Tune in next week. Stop talking while I'm talking. I got to
No.
close this thing.
In the free market.
Close this shit.
We will see you next week. Good night.
fuckers.